Hi, and welcome to the Brawlhalla Circuit. This is the Brawlhalla Wintership Championship. I'm Winan, better known as White Sheepy. I'm going to be your host for today. And right now, we have a very, very special guest here who is going to be doing a very small interview with me. So, introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dan Nichols, also known in the community as Raven. I am the marketing and community manager for Brawlhalla, and I'm very excited to be here.
Well, thank you so much for being here and just taking some time out to do this really small interview with me. I kind of want to start talking about the Brawlhalla Circuit. So last season, with the Brawlhalla Championship Series, we had a weekly tournament with prize pools that determined seeding. But now this season, we got circuit points coming into play. So I just kind of want to know what inspired the format of the Brawlhalla Circuit.
Honestly, last year when we were doing the weekly Brawlhalla Championship Series, that was a plan that we put together to get the community excited about BCX, but it's also a plan that we put together pretty late in the year. And we learned a lot of things last year, a lot of things we wanted to improve on. And for us, going to a circuit system is just a really good way to get everybody who's excited about Brawlhalla involved, because it lets us work with more tournament organizers. It lets us work with more community organizations who want to get involved in Brawlhalla esports. So it's really, to us, is just something that helped open the playing field to just everyone who's excited about Brawlhalla. And that was one of the biggest reasons that we did it. One of the other reasons is because, we wanted to up the stakes. This time with BCX, when you're competing in the Brawlhalla circuit, you're actually competing for a guaranteed slot in the top 32 world championship. We're only going to have a small amount of play-in slots available at the BCX Open. That's what we're nicknaming it right now. So only 3 players from that are going to get to be able to move forward. So if you absolutely want a shot at your share of $100,000, it's very wise of you to play in Brawlhalla circuit events.
Great. So, it seems like with the Brawlhalla circuit now, it seems like you guys are definitely focusing on community and, like you said, upping the stakes. So that's really exciting. So far we have about, I believe, over 14,000 registrants for 1v1 the winter championship that's happening. So super exciting for you guys. But when you mentioned about different organizers and events coming into play, I know that you guys are having LAN events that are going to be part of the circuit now. So which LAN event, which between CEO Dreamland and Combo Breakers, are you excited to be a part about?
So honestly, I'm really excited about all the offline events that we're doing because they're just the best time ever. Honestly, getting in a room full of Brawlhalla players, and just because it's not just about the tournament. Yes, the tournament's the big part of it. That's, people go out, they compete, they get circuit points, prize money, all that's awesome. But just being in a room full of people who love Brawlhalla as much as you do, and playing games till 4 a.m. and getting to see people in person, it's the best ever. CEO Dreamland is going to be really awesome. That's coming up in April. And then Combo Breaker, we're going back for the second year. That's going to be in May in Chicago. And I'm really excited about both of those events and working with those tournament organizers in those communities. But I'm also going to be going to more smaller events throughout the year. There are going to be smaller offline tournaments. So if you're interested in holding an offline tournament, let me know, because I'm very excited about having more offline events throughout the year. It's going to be really awesome.
Dude, yeah, that's great. I totally agree about meeting the community. I think that's one of the most exciting things when you go to an offline LAN event. Like you were saying, for Combo Breakers, it's like your second time around, and these offline LAN events are exciting because we're now adding it to the circuit, and you guys want to involve the community a bit more. What can the community expect at these events if we're going out to them?
So, if you've never been to an offline event before, imagine that nice Saturday afternoon where you got to play Brawlhalla for 12 hours while watching a tournament at the same time on your other monitor. It's basically that, but in person. It's basically what you're looking at. Excuse me while my phone goes off all crazy. So at CEO Dreamland, for example, we're actually planning on trying to have the whole thing streamed. So we're going to be trying to stream pools. We're going to be streaming all of 2v2 and 1v1. Combo Breaker is going to be a little different. Because Combo Breaker has a huge amount of games that go on at Combo Breaker. Like Combo Breaker is kind of like a fighting game festival because there's just basically every fighting game that exists that has a great community ends up at Combo Breaker. So it's really exciting to be part of both of those events. But yeah, just expect to play a lot of Brawlhalla and have the time of your life.
That's always the best. Yeah, getting to play a whole bunch of Brawlhalla.
That's pretty much how it is.
Well, one last question before you go. Do you have any advice you would like to give to the community or anyone who is thinking of creating a tournament to join the circuit or just to create a tournament just for fun?
Yeah, I mean, my advice is if you're a first-time tournament organizer, if you're just somebody who wants to hold a tournament for your friends or for your community, like just do it. You do not have to start off holding like high production level, high count. Like holding a tournament can be as easy as getting like 4 of your buddies together and being like, all right, let's make some brackets. I got a piece of paper. We're gonna draw this down, and we're all gonna fight. Like that's all it is. My advice is to just do it. You're going to make mistakes the first time. There's going to be hiccups. You're going to learn a lot of stuff. But honestly, throwing tournaments is some of the most fun I ever had back before I got hired when I was just a community member. Like running tournaments and commentating tournaments, I had the time of my life. And so it's a lot of fun. And my advice is just to start. If you've never done it before, start small. But, there's nothing holding you back. And we're happy to work with tournament organizers of any size. Like I got hit up today by somebody who was like, hey, my Discord community, we threw a 2v2 tournament with like 8 teams. Can we get some community colors? I was like, yes, of course, please take these. Thank you for like taking our game seriously enough to throw tournaments. That's freaking great. So it's something that I love seeing at all sizes and scales.
Yeah, that's wonderful advice. I totally agree with it. Just do it. That's probably the best advice you can probably give to a hopeful and future TO out there. Just go out and create those tournaments. And it doesn't matter what the production level is. Just have fun with it. Well, thank you so much, Raiden, for having this interview with me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Stay tuned. More of the Brawlhalla Wintership Championship is coming up next.
Hello and welcome back to the NA Winter Championship. Well, actually, technically, we're just at the Winter Championship. Now we're switching over to the NA side of things. I am your caster, Duke, designated agent, and with me is my homeboy, my young homie Peace, Sparky878. How's it going, Sparky? You're muted. I feel like I have to point this out.
I am muted. I already blew it from the get-go. It was me this time. The one who
I needed to point it out that it wasn't me.
Yeah, you were good. And you reminded me because I would have kept going for probably at least 25 or 30 minutes.
I was tempted to just let you go. Just see what happened. But yeah. How's it going?
I'm doing great. I was able to sit back and watch the entire EU 1v1. Congratulations to Multimum. I'm not going to say coming out of nowhere, but kind of coming out of nowhere.
Really?
I actually didn't get a chance to make a fantasy bracket because all of that happened while I was at one of my jobs, and I never got a chance to do it, and that will forever haunt me. But I probably wouldn't have put Multimum in top 2.
I mean, I guess you haven't looked at the fantasy system, but you just pick people. Like it's not, you don't have to be like, oh, Multimum.
Oh, okay, so it's not like an actual bracket, like a March Madness bracket.
No, it's like you pick. Okay, here's gonna be like 6 people who I think are gonna get like top 6, and then there's money. But I think the people out there, they have time to do the 2v2 side of things. But regardless, we're on the NA side of things. I think it's too late to put in for your NA bracket because we're at the top 32, and we're going to be kicking it off with a big game. It's going to be Starlight versus Jellyfish.
My goal today is to not misname him as Twilight.
Not say his old name.
That is one of my biggest goals today, is to actually call him Starlight, because I haven't actually said it out loud until pretty much just now. Even typing like in Discord, I still called him Twilight.
I mean, for those of you who are unfamiliar, Twilight was his old name. Recently, I think in like the past month, he just decided to change it to Starlight. I think the story goes that he was like messing with Twitch and he was like, oh, I want to change my name to Starlight, and like, how would I do that? And they just did it for him, and he was just like, all right, I guess I'm Starlight now, and changed everything to Starlight. So now he is Starlight. He's on his Asuri. He's got his 3s up tag, and he's going to be going up against Jellyfish of Absolute. And do you want to talk about Jellyfish a little bit?
Jellyfish is one of those players who was kind of picked up towards the end of last season by Absolute GG, and he was picked up towards the end, and it was he was actually somewhat funded through the community to get him to BCX. So that alone should tell you what kind of player he is in the community. He is an absolute bananas monster of specifically a 2v2 player more often than not. He goes for those big plays. He goes for the showy plays. A lot of times it ends up getting him into trouble, and he ends up getting killed because of it. But when it works, it's fireworks.
He's definitely a high risk, high reward kind of play style. He's one of those guys. He's very flashy, and to the point where I think he's a little bit of a fan favorite, and people really like to see him. I mean, like the big thing that he used to do was those unarmed downlight ladders on Great Hall. I think that's a little bit harder to do now, but it's definitely like one of those things where he just, rather than go for maybe the optimum thing, maybe go for the kill, he'll go for something a little bit more stylish, go for something just like, I feel like throwing in a downlight now. He does it because he feels like it. You can see the graphic on screen. He got second place in a US BCS. He got second place in the Gravy Cancel Invitational. He's made top 8 a number of times in BCS. He's definitely someone who's been successful here and there amongst the NA side of things.
And really, if I had to put someone as the coolest looking Brawlhalla player, Jellyfish is the coolest looking Brawlhalla player. You can tell
he's
his
got a great haircut
there. But at BCX, he was walking around with like aviator shades on. I think he had a leather jacket on. He looked straight out of Top Gun, and he was the coolest looking person I've ever seen in my entire life.
I'm pretty jealous of how he looks. But on the other side, he's gonna be going up against Starlight, like we were talking about just a little while ago. Formerly Twilight, but it seems like he changed his name to Starlight, and he's gonna be playing that as Asuri. I think the graphic is coming up in just a little bit. I mean, what do you know about Starlight off the top of your head?
Now, he started out kind of playing Bodvar, and it was specifically mostly sword based. He did have a strong hammer, but he mostly relied on the sword. Then it was like something like a week or 2 weeks before BCX, some short, insane amount of time like that, he decided to switch to Asuri, and he initially struggled a lot with Katars. They were still very competent Katars, but he struggled quite a bit just because it was within weeks of picking them up.
Right.
And I really am curious as to see how far he's progressed with Qatar since then, since winning Brawl League Masters, and even in the short time since then, I'm sure he's made huge strides with his Qatars. I'm sure they're muscle memory now. I'm sure he feels very comfortable in offstage play, on-stage play, neutral game, all of that.
I mean, not worth worth mentioning as well is that he got first place in 2v2s when those Qatars were still a little bit fresh. I mean, if you go back and watch BCX, we talked about like, oh, we don't know a lot about his Qatars because they're still kind of new, and he made those work. He has impeccable spacing. He knows how to use side air, max range. He's definitely a very strong player. One of the few people who LDZ has said like can give him a run for his money. Like a lot of people, they think that LDZ is unbeatable, but Twilight's been able to take games off him. I'm just saying. But yeah, you can see on that graphic, he maybe falls a little bit in top 8. And Daiku, the person who got second place on the EU Winter Championship in 1v1s, is actually the first person to notice Twilight or Starlight now and really start to train up Starlight. But we should be getting into this in just a little bit. It's going to be Starlight versus Jellyfish. Jellyfish, I mean, we've seen the Lucian. They're going for the 4 stat. Like that's the Lucian stat build apparently.
That's the one I favor. The occasional times that I'll pick up Lucian in ranked, 3 force is just not a lot. It really isn't a lot. You have to get a high gun recovery. You have to use his signature kit, which I am very terrible with, especially the gun signature kit. But having that little bit of extra 4 force, that gives you a little bit of mustard to put on it while still maintaining high defense. You have a ton of movement speed.
Well, mustard's gross, so I wouldn't want to put it on anything.
Well, that's you being a wrong person here.
I mean, it's a chemical warfare tool, but regardless, Starlight, he's got the guitars, and he's showing that he's definitely had time to practice them, definitely familiarize himself as he's putting the pressure out on top of Jellyfish.
Jellyfish disarming himself for just a moment. Now it's guitars against guitars. Jellyfish has had more experience time-wise with guitars than Starlight has, but Starlight has had more success in tournaments and in ranked competitive-wise than Jellyfish. It's kind of 2 different worlds here.
Jellyfish is actually able to space out the sidelight. He's mostly going for max range against Starlight. He doesn't want to let Starlight get in. Instead, he's trying to outrange it and punish the approaches from Starlight.
That is something he should be worried about, though, because Starlight has made his name with sword spacing, doing things from maximum range, knowing exactly where everything is going to hit, putting himself in as little danger as possible. So by playing the spacing game, I think over time, Starlight's going to just win out.
Well, he is going to take the first stock and win in that regard, clear the board and stick with the guitars. Guitars great for building up damage. Not quite as high DPS as the gun kit, but there's still a fantastic set for building up that damage. Nice read on that signature, and he's keeping the pressure. The Sair, Nair, Sair, and a Dare.
Recovery barely missing the Nair.
And Jellyfish turns it around. He could have touched the wall. This is Jellyfish in the quintessential Jellyfish. Could have touched the wall, but this is not. I want those stock ground pounds on top of Starlight, and this is not a 3 stock for Starlight.
I'm gonna give Jellyfish that one. Starlight doesn't take the stock here. All right, I'm gonna give that one to Jellyfish. This is top 32. This is game 1. He has a little bit of room to work with, but he's building up that damage on Starlight, even though he's a stock behind.
Yo, this unarmed play from Jellyfish. It's working. It's generally very difficult to go unarmed against guitars. Guitars a little bit faster, a little bit better range, and they build up damage faster. But Jellyfish made it work. Built up so much damage that the gun neutral sig killed.
Great turnaround neutral sig coming out from Jellyfish. And talking about that unarmed kit, he's able to do that. Like, that's where that unarmed downlight ladder came from. He throws his weapon a lot, and so sometimes that'll leave him disarmed. So he has to be able to be competent with that unarmed kit, or he's essentially just handicapping himself.
And Jellyfish, he's got the gun kit in hand. Starlight is actually going to clear his weapon where he's going for the sword kit. Jellyfish gets caught by the recovery. Starlight looking for the Nair, gets a Sair, and Jellyfish gets taken down. Game 1 is going to be a quick, clean kill from Starlight onto Jellyfish.
Even with that stock lead that Starlight had up on Jellyfish, Starlight was in the orange on his last stock, so that wasn't a huge lead by any means. If Jellyfish can just kind of hold it back, we're actually seeing him lock in Queen 9 now, who he used to play a long time ago. Maybe that 8 defense is going to keep him in there. He's actually playing the deck stats, so he is taking 1 block away from movement speed. He's a 2 movement speed Queen 9.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably used to not having a lot of movement speed. I think with the rebalance, 2 movement speed is about the same as 3 was. But really what it comes down to is he wants that defense, he wants that force, and maybe to a degree he wants the spear kit, as he's going for a lot of these up throws with the spear.
Yeah, with the way that the game is now, with the chain dodges and the chase dodges on hit, you're a little bit more forgiven for having a lower movement speed. You have better ways to move around the stage rather than just running. And actually, 2 movement speed is a little bit better than 3 used to be. Same thing with like Dex and Force and everything like that with somewhat recent stat changes.
So, I mean, Jellyfish was a monster with the original 3 movement speed Queen Nai, so 2 movement speed, even given that it's better, is clearly no issue for Jellyfish. Starlight is going to get a nice side air and a dare. Will finish off Jellyfish. Jellyfish needs to come back, pick up a weapon, and a Sig I don't think will kill at this point, even if it's like a side Sig off the stage.
No, Starlight is close to
He's
getting that red. I think
healthy.
he just procced into that red after that recovery, but even those recoveries are just barely sending him off the screen. Even though they lowered that kill box on the top of Shipwreck, it's still pretty high up there compared to other stages.
He's going to use that spear to give himself some breathing room. Goes for the dodge out, goes for the side heavy. Try to catch Starlight coming in. Not quite able to do so. And Starlight's looking real close to taking off another stock of Jellyfish before Jellyfish can even take off his first stock. Spear, not close.
Looking for the side signature. Doesn't get punished by Starlight. Gets a nice downlight. Starlight going in. Nice downlight into the recovery. Jellyfish staying up high. Another downlight into a recovery.
Neutral light comes out. Weapon toss. Jellyfish. He's trying to finish off this stock. The down sig is not going to work. Starlight dodges through, gets a down sig of his own, takes down Jellyfish's second stock, and Starlight's looking real healthy.
Great timing, great read coming out from Starlight. Jellyfish
Played
planting the flag as he gets a middle of the stage sidelight kill. Unarmed sidelight kill. Going back to those downlight recoveries, even though those weren't killing, he hit like 2 or 3 of them, and that's like 33 damage every single time. With the ability to kill in 170, that's some serious damage going the way of Starlight.
And he's keeping this guitar string going. Jellyfish spaces it out, ends up getting a nice punish, goes for the downlight into a side heavy. Starlight, he's just doing a great job keeping this pressure on, avoids the punishments. Jellyfish is trying to catch him with these sigs, and Starlight's just, this is, I mean, that's quintessential Starlight, is knowing spacing so that he can punish properly.
And even now, normally it would be a big deal if you were trading with a Queen Nai. Jellyfish gets a nice read. It's not going to quite kill just yet. Maybe a recovery might kill at this point. He hasn't really hit any signatures against Starlight. Ooh, going for a real big read with that unarmed side.
If Starlight had taken a step or two to the right, I think Jellyfish could have gotten that kill. Whereas Jellyfish has to come back. He gets a neutral light onto Starlight, building up a little bit more damage, but he's got to be thinking about the kill option, and he's gone for a lot of those haymakers, those unarmed side heavies. They've just not been connecting. Starlight's doing a great job of avoiding them. There.
There's going to be the clean, swift 2-0 going the way of Starlight. With that nair, you didn't see him doing a lot of downlight side airs. You saw him throwing out a bunch of side airs. That's normal for Starlight, especially on sword. You didn't see him going for a lot of downlight side airs, which that was his bread and butter for a very, very long time. Right. I wonder if that's just he didn't want to fish for it, or if he noticed how long Jellyfish was staying in the air. A lot of hang time coming the way of Jellyfish.
Well, with that, Starlight does take him out and goes on to make it into the top 16, I believe. We'll be continuing on. It's going to be LDZ versus Stevenator. These are former 2v2 partners, now turned enemies, as Stevenator is going to be going into this 1v1 against LDZ, the number 1 Brawlhalla right now. This is going to be a rough match for Steve, to say the least.
I mean, I wouldn't say that they're necessarily bitter enemies.
Okay,
there
exaggeration.
Might be, behind closed doors, there might be some love lost between LDZ and Stevenator. LDZ partnering with Boomie now, Steve partnering with Silly Gobi. So that's a huge shift in the North American 2v2 scene. And I mean, the last time I think I casted Stevenator, I talked about how he was no longer an emotional player. Since then, I've been playing a lot of Rainbow Six with him. Mm-hmm. He is very much an emotional player in that game. I'm sure that's going to transfer over here when he plays poorly, when he makes even simple, minute mistakes. He gets in his own head. I think that's what kind of one of the things that kept him and LDZ from the top spot in 2v2 until they sort of built that relationship. That's how they were able to get 2v2 second in 2v2 at BCX. It was LDZ kind of leveling out Steve's head and keeping him under control, saying, "Hey man, it's okay, relax, don't worry about it." And when Steve is under control, Steve's a monster.
Right. I mean, Steve, he's got so much potential as a player. I think a long time ago when Daiku made his power rankings, he said when Steve is at the top of his game, he can be up there. You know, he can take down the best of them. But like you were saying, Stevenator, sometimes he gets a little bit too into his head, and it can play to his own faults. Like you said, he did get second place in 2v2s at BCX, which is a very fantastic place to do. He got third place in the 1v1 BCS in a 1v1. He's got fourth place at Combo Breaker behind the likes of Boomie and Zalux. He's been around for a long time, going back to JV4 with part of the Creed. I believe was he in Boo?
Yes.
Okay, he was in Boo.
Yes, he was in Boo.
I don't remember any clans anymore. I think he was in Straw Hats as well. He's been around. He's been in clans to say the least. And he's a super strong player. On the other side, he's gonna be going up against LDZ, which I think we got a graphic for as well. He's the number 1 place 1v1er in Brawlhalla, winner of BCX in 1v1.
The Phenom LDZ really kind of needs no introduction. If you don't know his name now, after this match, there's a very good chance you will. After this tournament, there's a very good chance you will. After subsequent tournaments, there's a very good chance that you will. LDZ, I don't think he's gotten any worse since BCX. I would not be surprised if he's gotten better. I don't know what his practicing habits are, but I know back when it was the US West regional qualifier, his biggest issue was he didn't want to lose because it would be like the most embarrassing thing ever. He was widely believed to be the best player in US West by far. So losing that would be a huge embarrassment. Now he has the added weight on his shoulder of being the 1v1 world champion. So nerves coming into this.
Yeah.
That could be a serious issue, even though this is just the first tournament of this season. Even though it's an online tournament, he has a serious precedent that he's already set for himself.
I mean, it's like you said, it's whoever takes him down, whoever, like, even if someone knocks him into lowers bracket that isn't in, winners finals, it's going to be big. People are going to notice. It's going to be an upset by and large. Like the graphic says, he is on almost every single fantasy team in BMG, as well as I'm sure a lot of players out there. He's a favorite to the point where people are upset that he is so favored because he's just such an absolute monster.
But I'm going to put a huge asterisk there because that was the same thing for Dobrain in EU.
Right.
And look what happened just a few hours ago. There could be upsets today. Now, he is on every BMG fantasy team. Is he on yours? I know you were kind of going for the money ball of, like, instead of one $100 player, you go for 10 $10 players.
So, yeah, I went for the diversify your assets strategy of I didn't pick anyone that was higher than $10 for my NA bracket. So my entire fantasy pool, it's got Doppy and Magma Bob in it, as well as some other familiar
Doppy
names.
who didn't play today.
Don't worry about it, all right? It's one of those low risk investments. All right, I'm playing the stocks. But yeah, technically he's not in my bracket. But you worry about your bracket, all right?
Now even if I was going for that strat, I would still put LDZ. He's gonna deliver. There is a somewhat of a chance that he might not win, but he's at least going to deliver some points to you. He's a guarantee.
I want the highest return on investment though. Like nothing would have been more insane than if I think I had like Dr. Pepper on one of my brackets because I liked the name, and if he made the top, if he made first place, I would have gotten so many points and everybody would have been like, who's this guy? But that doesn't matter because we're going into it. Steve's on core, interestingly enough, going up against LDZ on the Ragnar. So neither of them are playing the characters that I think you and I are most familiar with. Steve generally played the Val pick, whereas LDZ, he made his name with the Koji, but it seems like he's playing the meta and he's going to Ragnar.
And he's going from Koji, very high dex character, without a stance, he's 8 dex, and he's going to the defense stance in Ragnar that actually takes 1 point away from the dex. So he's coming in with that middle of the road 5 dexterity. That's a little bit interesting. A huge shift for LDZ. Now, on that axe, he's not going to have side light, nair, gravity cancel, neutral light, always undodgeable. He's not going to have that option. You need to have at least 6 decks for that. Meanwhile, on the other side, Steve with his 4 pick, he's going to have some serious true combos with every signature on the hammer kit after a downlight. So he has real kill potential.
He can do basically whatever he wants after the hammer stomp. It changes depending on positioning. Some are a little bit harder to set up, But he's definitely got a lot of optionry as far as kills go, but he's got to get LDZ into that kill percentage. He's getting close. He built up a decent amount of damage pretty quickly. And you're seeing him start to go for that Gauntlet side sig. That's something that we saw Fats in the Battle Brawl Invitational really went for a lot, is that insane range on that side sig.
And Fats is kind of the last person that I saw play core. Not a lot of people play core, and there is a signature taking LDZ off of the top. Steve coming in very early stock. He's like right on the border between orange and red, and core has some serious survivability.
Ooh, but he's got to be careful. He does take the dare, and he takes the second one. If LDZ had decided to back off after that first dare, I think Steve could have touched the wall. But great presence of mind for LDZ to stay down there and get the second dare to finish off the stock.
Now, we saw Steve go pretty deep with those gauntlets. Is he going to focus mainly on gauntlets, or is he going to be on this hammer? I want to see him stick to hammer. He had one of my favorite hammers of all time. It's between him and Boomie for my favorite hammers of all time. Boomie because of the movement. Steve just because of his hitbox manipulation and his specific positioning just is insane.
Ooh. Great patience, though, with that gauntlet kit. He gets a nice stomp side air. Can't quite finish off with that weapon toss. And LDZ is going to make it back. But like you said, Steve had a really strong hammer kit. One of the best. I mean, he put his name on the map. He had the Stevenator combo, which is where he did the Bodvar gravity cancel down sig off stage to finish off stocks. I want to believe in his core right now with that hammer.
I'm absolutely believing in his core, not only with hammer, but with gauntlets as well. He's looking very confident and has a serious lead on the world champion, LDZ. This is big for Steve here.
Steve, he knows he's looking for that finisher. He gets the side air onto LDZ. And there's his opportunity. I want to believe he's sticking with these gauntlets. He's not even going to try to clear the board. Instead, he wants to punish LDZ going for the pickup.
Now, the biggest thing I'm worried about with this matchup is what I'm going to go ahead and call the LDZ factor, where we used to see him against Twilight a lot in grand finals. And in the first set, Twilight would win somewhat confidently, sometimes getting 3-0s. Where's the edge guard here? Oh, Steve's able to interrupt that and get a dare after the recovery. He's chasing him onto the stage.
Disengages. Picks up into the neutral light, and he wants more. Steve is not afraid of going on to LDZ off stage. Even though LDZ hit that one dare, Steve, he's still staying aggressive. But like you said, LDZ, he's got this ability, he's got this aura, and he just, if you beat him, he just comes out so strong afterwards.
And it's weird because I don't even think it's like it's like an issue of emotion, like, oh no, I'm gonna show everybody that I'm the best. I think it's just like a switch that's like, oh yeah, there's money on the line, there's glory on the line. I'm playing a game competitively, and I need to play well, so I'm gonna do that now.
Hopefully he finds that switch soon, because Steve is staying real even. Oh, the nice side sig peeks over, and it seems like LDZ, he found it. All right, he got the side sig. There is a less than 20 damage difference between the two players.
Steve is locking in this core, though, immediately. I'm loving this core pick from Steve. I like to see core get some love. I think he is a strong character. I think his hammer is great. He has every single signature on hammer. Neutral signature, side signature, down signature.
You like the down sig?
Has true combos. I mean, I hate the signature on its own. It's
okay. It's risky on its own. It's got a solid amount of recovery, lots of active frames, and it's a little bit predictable.
But there is a true combo off of downlight. It's probably harder than all the other ones to hit. It's a little more situational than all the other ones to hit, so maybe I wouldn't go with it, but it's an option. It's an option that no other character can say, I think all of their signatures in a kit have a true combo.
Mix-ups. It gives them the opportunity to mix up where he wants to put LDZ. You know, the neutral sig has more or less just straight vertical force. The side sig has a little bit more horizontal force to it. The down sig, it like drags them forward, rolls them forward, and then it bursts out afterwards. So it's really up to Stevenator how he wants to utilize it, as well as, I mean, obviously there's different damage variables and force variables on all of these signatures as well.
And his gauntlet signatures are nothing to shake a stick at either. You have the gigantic range of the side signature. Mm-hmm. You have the range of the neutral signature as well. I don't think it's quite as far as the side signature. 3, 2, and then you have the hitbox of the down signature, which is very similar to the Sentinel Qatar down signature, which everybody thought was just one of the most broken moves for 100 years.
I mean, I was talking about with Mirage, I think it's about the same frame data for startup on the Gauntlet down sig as Mirage's Spear down sig. So there's potential for Steve to use it in a similar fashion. It doesn't have the upward hitbox, but he could use it kind of like how Dobrin was to punish dodges from his opponents. Nice neutral sig again onto LDZ. Can't quite finish him off. Wanted to stomp into some sort of kill option there.
I think he's looking for kills off the top so far. You've seen him going for a couple stomps. You follow that up with a neutral signature. Then you saw him going for the nairs. Now he immediately disarmed himself with those gauntlets. Maybe he just doesn't feel he has kill potential, and it's all about that hard swinging hammer.
That's how Steve is. Off stage, he'll go for you know, like a Sair, and then he tries to go for the weapon toss. He wants that double tap with the gauntlets to try to guarantee the kill quickly. That if you're off stage, expect him to try to throw at you with those. Nice neutral sig from LDZ though. Will even up the stocks. Gonna clear the board. He's gonna stick with the guitars.
Just like last game, we saw Steve get a lead again. He was able to take the first stock on LDZ, and he's looking to do some more damage as he has LDZ on the edge. Now Steve's on the edge, getting back on. Nice downlight nair. Little bits of damage here and there from LDZ. No huge strings, but consistent damage.
Consistent damage alongside some solid pressure. LDZ just staying real close to Stevenator, but Stevenator, he's got a slight frame advantage, specifically with that Gauntlet neutral light. It will win out on the ground against LDZ's grounded guitar moves. Ground pound comes out. Turn around. Steve's in trouble. He's got the Sair. Oh, he can't get the touch.
Steve falling behind just a little bit. LDZ with a reasonably solid lead. Now he has that axe in his hand. He wasn't able to really do too much with it before. You saw him pick a kill up with a side signature as it peeked over the edge, but not a lot of huge work coming out of LDZ's axe so far. But maybe he's just getting it warmed up.
There is Mafia from Stevenator.
We
didn't see it from the Russian. We didn't see it from anyone in EU. Instead, it's Stevenator who busts it out, uses it, I want to say, at the very beginning part of that kill range, just enough to take down LDZ in the orange.
I didn't even see that coming, because usually Hammer players will have to fish for it at least a little bit, or sometimes it's the first one and another
ground pound. Oh!
Nares into the ground pound. LDZ turning it around on Steve.
Uh-oh.
Both of them are last stock right now. Stevenator's gonna fall. LDZ is gonna take it 2-0. It looked like it was in either one of theirs. 5 different. Great showing from losers bracket, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a big losers bracket run like we saw from Effie earlier today, where we see him in the top 8, the top 5, the top 3.
That was impressive. The dream was alive for Stevenator there. Huge Russian Mafia, and he was coming back, almost got the game. You saw again the damage difference between the two, less than 30. It was insanely close, and Stevenator just barely gets taken down. He's going to go down to lower bracket, and like you're saying, I think there's a strong possibility that he's going to make that lower bracket run. But we are going to continue on, and we're going to be seeing Eggsoup versus STP Wilson.
Now this is an interesting mix-up right here, because you have kind of 2 schools of play. You have Eggsoup, who is usually a very aggressive player. He'll go with a lot of aggressive dodge reads. He'll use his chase dodges a lot. He was one of the first people we saw using chain dodges to really mix up his movement off of soft platforms, using the chain dodges into the air. The other one I'll say is probably Boomie, but usually when he was doing it, it was like 2 forward and 1 back, just to kind of mix up the pacing. Eggsoup was just using them better than anybody else and in different ways than anybody else. And that was mixing up everything. You never knew where he was going to come at you from. You never knew what direction he was going to do. If he was on the ground, he could be in the air in an instant. If he was in the air, he could be on the ground in an instant.
Yeah, I mean, he had an insane play, but he's going to be going up against STP Wilson, who I think you're a little bit more familiar than I am. I know he's been around for a while. He's in the Ryujin clan, which is a reasonably notable clan. It has a lot of killers inside of it, and STP Wilson is most definitely one of them.
I used to hate Wilson. I used to hate Wilson so much. I would queue into him late at night in ranked, and he used to play so slowly. He's picked up the pace a lot since then, and he and I are boys now, but apparently he's been a competitive gamer for over 15 years. He used to play Quake, which arena shooters, you need lightning fast reflexes. Oh my goodness. You need situational awareness at all times, because I'm sure he's played insta-gives before where one hit and you're dead. Wilson has some reaction time. I'm looking at this card. I actually didn't even know all of this. I didn't know that he was that deep into Quake.
Yeah, I also didn't know he was a big Quake player. I'm not sure how well those abilities, you know, Quake, it's an arena shooter. I'm not sure how well that translates over to Brawlhalla, but like the graphic says, he's been a diamond player for quite a while now. I think he's been a diamond player every single season. But he's got to get through Eggsoup, who I think we're going to switch over to in just a little bit. And Eggsoup, he's definitely had a lot more success in the tournament scene. I mean, well, 2v2s at BCX, what you got, like top 5, right?
I think he was third. Yes, him and Pugsy were. What was it? Was it third, or am I mistaken there?
Fourth place.
Fourth place.
We
Third.
danced around the number. It's close. Average us. And he got fourth place in 1v1 as well. He has been a consistent monster. Definitely had a lot of successes in the tournament scene.
He was fourth place in 1v1, fourth place in 2v2. Egg is probably one of the biggest household names. Up there with LDZ, up there with Daiku, up there with Doughbrain. Right. Eggsoup is probably the second most household name in North America.
Yeah, he's very similar to Jellyfish. He's also another one of those players who goes for some high risk, high reward stuff, but he's had a lot more success with it. Like one of the things that I always remember is when he was playing the Val, he went he had to get a gimp onto Boomie. Like his only, actually it was against Pugsy. He had to get a gimp onto Pugsy, and he did it. It was just this absurd thing. Eggsoup, he comes out of the gates. Sometimes he has some trouble here and there, but when he turns on the gas and he gets those big gimps, it's absolutely insane. He has high risk, high reward play style, and it's always entertaining to watch Eggsoup play.
I'm curious as to who he's going to pick, though. We've seen a couple surprises, and Eggsoup used to be one of those characters that, like, every single month he was playing a different character. Then he kind of stuck with Hattori for a while longer than any of his previous characters. And then he stuck with Val for a long time, longer than any of his previous characters. And even in the beginning when he was playing Val and was kind of struggling a lot, no one else was really playing Gauntlets. So I don't know how much help he had, like seeing other players and being like, oh, that's what he's doing, I'm gonna mimic that. That's what he's doing, I'm gonna mimic that. And so one of the first times you and I saw him play is you and I were both saying, switch back to your Hattori,
right?
Like win this tournament.
What is
and win this tournament with Hattori, and then you can go back to Val, please. But he kept at it. He kept running into that brick wall over and over and over, and then eventually he was able to break through it.
Right. He definitely has shown at this point. It's if he switches to Hattori, I kind of cringe a little bit. I go, Eggsoup, don't do this. Your Val is just, it's better. He's got the familiarity. It's similar stats in the sense that they're both high movement speed, but Val it's got that gauntlet kit. It's got so much gimp potential. We saw hints of it when Stevenator was playing core just a little while ago. But Eggsoup, he also knows how to utilize it, specifically for Val. A lot of, you know, gravity cancel, neutral sigs off stage, a lot of nairs into ground pounds, and all sorts of everything in between.
But with Eggsoup, like one of my most probably notable memories of Eggsoup is at BCX when they started when everyone started kind of breaking into their BCX packs and they got their pins, and Egg just kind of lit up. And he was running around trying to trade this pin for that pin, trying to trade up, trade down, trade back, trade forth. And right now he's going to the bathroom. And I'm sure you've seen an animal after it's finished going to the bathroom, it just runs around all over the place. I think Egg is going to have a similar energy. I think he's going to bring that energy into this game.
I mean, at bare minimum, it's gonna lighten his load a little bit. He's gonna have a little bit less weight slowing him down. But Eggsoup, I mean, he's got some of the fastest hands in the West, man. Like he put shadow stepping on the map, right, with the left right spam. He shadow stepped character picks at BCX. You know, he was doing I think it was Ulgrim, where he would just
it was
Ulgrim name. So this guy, I mean, I don't think even if he kept this weight on that he would be that much slower. But Eggsoup, he's going to be someone that you got to keep your eyes open. If you blink, you got to be careful, because Eggsoup might be gone. But he's going to be going up against STP Wilson, straight to the point Wilson. And Wilson, I mean, like you said, he can be a little bit of a brick wall to fight through sometimes. He can be very very aggressive and very punishing to fight.
I think Egg's movement and the switching of his approaches with those chain dodges, I think he's gonna make Wilson try every bit as hard as he possibly can to win this. Personally, I don't see Wilson getting through Egg here.
Well, we're gonna find out in just a little bit. If we're looking at the banners, Wilson's diamond, Eggsoup's not. So you know that means things.
3, 2, we don't even have to watch this. Just move
Game's
Wilson
over.
through. He's
So,
got the banner. He's got the
continue on.
BCX pack, whatever the little mammoth fella's name is. He's got him. Wilson's got this in the bag easy.
He's got the blue mammoth sidekick, but Eggsoup has got the gauntlets, but he hasn't been able to get a hit onto Wilson. Wilson with these guitars just outspacing Eggsoup, punishes the ground pound with a downlight.
Wilson using his movement and waiting, putting a lot of space in between him and Eggsoup. I don't blame you for that. I don't want Eggsoup to get on me because he will stick to you like glue.
And I mean, Eggsoup knows how to utilize this gauntlet kit. He knows that if he goes for a side light, he knows it's not a true combo. He knows that his opponent knows it's not a true combo. So he waits for their dodge and tries to punish their dodge. And then it's very similar to how Effie was playing Scythe, where it's just he punishes the fact that they tried to avoid the punish. But
Nice
gravity
gravity
cancel neutral.
Sig. The
And
weapon
Egg's
toss.
done.
Egg has nothing, and STP Wilson going up on Egg right now, taking a reasonably early stock as Wilson's right on the border between orange and red. And with that sword, looking to kill off the top of the neutral signature. Usually you see him going for nairs off the top. That's his kind of off the top kill move of choice.
I know Eggsoup also, he likes to go for the recovery at the top of the map as well. Tries to punch them into the sky, looking for that downlight, presumably to follow up with the ground pound. Eggsoup's one of the few people who will actually do a gravity cancel downlight off stage near the wall.
With that neutral sig, he's somewhat gonna even this game up, lower Wilson's lead a little bit, but Egg is gonna be red pretty soon,
Nice.
and Wilson's gonna be probably looking for signatures again. We aren't seeing any huge offstage plays so far. It's mostly been above the stage. Wilson, he seems like the type of person who likes to maintain stage control and doesn't have a lot of edge guarding in his toolkit. When he played Queen Nai, you saw him doing those side signatures off the edge.
I mean,
there's
it's
another neutral signature.
aggressive stage control. It's working out for him. Another neutral sig sends Eggsoup off the map. Wilson hasn't had to go off stage because he sends Eggsoup high in the sky, and when Eggsoup tries to come back down, tries to punish Wilson, he just catches him with that neutral sig and backs off the second that Eggsoup's off stage.
Rather than those traditional edge guards, he waits for Egg to recover high, and that's where he's clipping him with those neutral signatures. And then you saw him just do a down signature off the edge, switching it up in case Egg tried to recover low or sit high on that sidewall.
That was an interesting option from Eggsoup. He had the recovery, and I was surprised to see that he didn't go for an immediate nair. Instead, he kind of dodged around Wilson, tried to see what Wilson was going to do, and immediately went for a Sair, followed up with a second Sair to lead to the kill. But Eggsoup, he's just keeping everybody on their toes as he gets the string. Uh-oh. He almost dodged into that weapon toss. Wilson looking for that kill option again, that neutral sig, but Eggsoup gets past another gravity cancel sidelight into the recovery.
It was the downlight recovery, gravity cancel downlight recovery, shades of Dobrain at Brawl League Masters when he completely won that tournament by exploiting that simple true combo. It's not true anymore though. Very close game. Ooh, looking for that neutral signature. Not this time. Third time's a charm for Eggsoup. Wilson couldn't get a signature punish there that would have killed Egg. Picked up the latter frames of that recovery.
Ooh, risky side sig, was able to make it up with that neutral light. 5-frame startup. Wilson trying to punish. That was close. Both of them close to death. Eggsoup's going to get the side R. He's got a force disadvantage, so it's going to be difficult for him to finish off this stock of Wilson.
Wilson has multiple kill moves in his toolkit here, but it's going to be the unarmed side air from Eggsoup. Wilson had some serious options there. I mean, neutral light, ever since BCX, is now a kill move in the Axe toolkit. Of course, you have the dares off stage. You have the 360-degree hitbox of recovery and ground pound. Of course, you have the Axe side air. But Egg just went in and just beat him with timings for that unarmed side air.
Very solid play from Eggsoup. A little bit risky, but I mean, that's what we said. Eggsoup, high risk, high reward. He knows his positioning. He knows his movement better than anybody else, and he's going to be continuing on. It's going to be game 2. Eggsoup up 1 game over STP Wilson, and we're sticking with Mammoth.
I don't see stages really playing a huge part here. I mean, if they went to Great Hall, you have ledge cancel opportunities, but you don't really see players kind of falling for those or achieving those anymore like they used to for a little bit. Ledge cancels are a long time ago, are harder to do now.
Well, DI also kind of shut that down.
Yes.
But Wilson, he's got the Qatar kit again, going up against Eggsoup. Oh, another gravity cancel down light into the recovery for Eggsoup. He likes to do that at the top of the map. Very close to a kill move, but just not quite enough to get into the kill box.
Now, when Wilson's in the air, he has to fear the lateral hitbox as well as the vertical.
On stage neutral sig from Eggsoup sends Wilson off the stage. Can't quite pick up the recovery. Oh, weapon toss. Wanted to follow up with a side air. Eggsoup, he's got so much damage on Wilson. You're seeing him get sent flying from even just the lightest of touches, but still not quite enough to finish off the stock. That's that low force of Val showing its face.
Egg playing really liberal with those gravity cancels today. You saw him do the downlight off stage. You've seen gravity cancel signatures way high in the air, especially at high percents, but he's going to finish it off with that turnaround side air, Shades of Twilight.
50 Shades of Twilight. But Eggsoup, he's got the first stock off of Wilson. Wilson has Eggsoup in the red. He's looking for that kill option, looking for that recovery. But Eggsoup able to interrupt with that weapon toss, make it very difficult for Wilson to get that finishing blow.
And with this axe, we just haven't seen a lot of success damage-wise from Wilson. He's hitting these dares, but they're just bouncing Egg off the stage. He needs to kill Egg at this point. Good job on Egg for extending these stocks, staying in a good position. Finally picked up by that neutral signature, but he has a serious lead.
Wilson is being very effective with these neutral sigs. Maybe Eggsoup playing a little bit in the sky because Wilson's been able to catch him out with those anti-airs, and they've been leading to kills.
And there's another gravity cancel. The gravity cancel downlight just above the stage. The neutral signature that was the bane of Egg earlier. Gonna get the ground pound. Ooh, just barely missing. Egg wasn't able to touch the wall. Maybe if he did a down air instead of a side air, he might have been able to touch the wall. But now Wilson coming out with the lead, putting a hot 31 damage real quick on Egg.
And Egg not able to reply in stocks. Can't quite finish it off. Tries to get underneath the recovery and finish with a recovery of his own. But Wilson dodges around it, and he gets a side sig, and Wilson evens up the games.
Player 2 wins.
That just immediately changed from Eggsoup taking the first stock to Wilson having a little bit of a lead on the second stock to completely... Did he take any damage?
Minimal at best.
I think that might have been a clean last stock for Wilson there onto Eggsoup again with that axe side signature just kind of peeking over the edge, taking out Eggsoup. And if he sticks with those Qatars, we could see a big upset here coming from Wilson.
There it is, game 3. Eggsoup, he's playing unarmed, trying to stick on top of Wilson. Doesn't even care that there's a weapon out, and as Wilson clears it away, trying to just deny Eggsoup of weaponry, but he finally picks up the sword.
Sidelight neutral. He was waiting for Egg's dodge before aggressing with that sidelight.
Neutralite for Neutralite. Another Neutralite from Eggsoup. Wanted the speed dodge weapon toss. Just trying to put pressure out. Like I'm every time Eggsoup does something like that, I have to get confused a little bit because I'm like, that's not a normal follow-up for an attack.
Oh, and Eggsoup has just been throwing out these side signals. It's been a little bit sloppy, and Wilson's been able to punish him.
I mean, good on Wilson for recognizing these opportunities and catching them with these neutral sigs. Catches them with a side sig. Takes another stock off of Eggsoup. Almost all of Wilson's kills have been signatures, and that's just a testament to Wilson's understanding of the signature kit of Ragnar.
It's been the Qatar neutral signature or the axe side signature, and Wilson using all of his in-air movement abilities to aggress onto Egg when he's deep in that red. Nice fast fall down to get out of the way of Egg's side air.
Neutral Sig picks up and will kill for Eggsoup. He's taking a little bit of damage, but Val relatively defensive, has a little bit more health to work with than if he was playing that Hattori.
There's another Qatar neutral signature. Eggs dodges down. Oh, he was able to move away in time. Wilson a little bit slow on the uptake there.
And a nice gauntlet string, using that speed dodge to get in position and keep it going with that dare. Just putting out pressure, trying to even up this damage as quickly as possible onto Wilson.
Game's starting to slow down just a little bit. I'd beg to say that might be in Wilson's favor. That's where he's used to playing. Egg with the weapon toss, balking him on the head. Didn't even need to put himself in any danger there. Just the worst thing was he risked a disarm when there were weapon spawns still on the stage.
And that's what I was talking about with Stevenator. It's use that side air to put him into a position, finish off with that weapon toss. It's relatively low risk, and it's a great quick kill.
LDZ used to do that all the time. He would catch people in red with downlight side airs and then follow up with the weapon toss when the side air wouldn't normally kill.
Right, with a bow kit.
Yep, absolutely.
Eggsoup will be able to make it back. And as long as he can extend this stock, it's going to be in his favor. The longer he goes, just the better it gets, as he's just racking up so much damage. Takes the slap, but it's not enough to finish. Going to side air back. Ooh. Okay.
Finally killing Eggsoup. You saw that on-stage Qatar side air sent Egg flying that far off screen. That is so much damage. Wilson getting a little risky there, putting himself off stage when he could have taken an unarmed ground pound from Egg. That would have been a huge spike.
Eggsoup looking reasonably healthy here. He gets a nair. Wilson's getting close to kill range, and Eggsoup wants to stick with the sword, but he's going for these nair kills. He wants to kill off the top. Interrupts the recovery.
Oh, that nair just narrowly missing Wilson as he picked up the down air. I'm loving these neutral lights coming out of Egg so far. Instead of dodging after his move, he'll throw out a neutral light. It comes out so incredibly quickly.
It covers so many punish opportunities from Wilson. And to a degree, he's using it kind of like a trap. Wilson sent off the stage again. Eggsoup with a weapon toss. Wilson can't get back. Eggsoup closes it out in game 3. We'll continue on. And that was quite harrowing for Eggsoup there.
In a heartbreaking defeat for Wilson, narrow victory for Eggsoup. You got to hope that he is going to want to take everything in from that game that he possibly can. But Wilson just played really, really well. I think that's probably more consistently than I've seen Wilson play in quite a long time.
I mean, that's kind of going to show that everyone in top 32 of NA they're showing up to play. They all the circuit points as well as that prize money. They all want to win it out, but only one person can. Coming up next, it looks like we're going to be going up to watch Boomie versus Pugsy. I know you like these boys. What do you want to say about them?
I mean, could you not put it in a way that sounds like that creepy?
Okay, I know you're friends with them and you like playing video games with them. You don't play Rainbow Six with them, but sometimes you play a Brawlhalla and y'all just hang out and chat in Discord. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Is that less creepy?
That is a better way of putting it. Thank you very much.
Take him to a pizza parlor and Chuck E. Cheese sometime. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Pugsy. Do we have a graphic for Pugsy? All right, so let's talk about Pugsy real quick. Canadian player Pugsy, teammate of Eggsoup. We just saw Eggsoup play. Now we're going to be seeing his partner in crime, the young Yoni, Pugsy XD. What do you know about Pugsy?
I mean, Pugsy is someone who kind of came out of nowhere maybe a year-ish ago and just started placing really, really well in tournaments, really consistent, a very high energy player, aggressive as well, similar to the vein in Eggsoup. One of the reasons they work so well together is they both kind of understand how the other one is thinking. And in BCX, he was 3rd place 1v1, 4th place 2v2, both fantastic placings. Came in at $5,500 earned last year. That's huge. That is some serious money. He had numerous BCS top placings in 1v1 and 2v2. He trains with Eggsoup all the time. They are in constant communication. Like before Pugsy was gonna register for Dreamland, he had to nail down, all right, Egg, are you going to Dreamland? If you're not going to Dreamland, I'm going to partner with someone else because I don't want to lose my circuit points. But if you are going, we are a team. We made it through last season together, and they're kind of one of the longest running teams now, especially in North America, now that Boomie and Remy have broken up.
Right. The Boomie Remy team have broken up. I think the only other long running team would Dobre and Daiku. How long has that been going?
That one's been on and off though.
I guess that's fair, considering Daiku played with Twilight and BCX for reasons that we stated earlier on today. Dobrin was not able to play at BCX. But regardless, Pugsy is the person we're talking about, the Canadian-born. He's also, I mean, he's been in the competitive scenes for a while. You and I know him because he used to play in Smite competitive for a while. Subsequently, he switched over to Brawlhalla. He's a name and a force to be reckoned with amongst the Canadians, and he's going to be going up against your boy Boomie on the other side. 2nd place at Combo Breaker. What did he get? Top
3rd place 2v2 at BCX,
2v2, right?
Top 6 BCX 1v1.
Right.
He's now teaming with LDZ. I don't think LDZ would team with anybody who's not insane at this game. Boomie's one of those people. He's actually kind of like Pugsy in this vein of he'll kind of switch around mains. He'll understand a lot of characters at an extremely high competitive level so that he has more counterpick options than pretty much almost anybody else out there, and that's one of his biggest strengths. Same thing with Pugsy, but I think a little bit more in Boomie's case. It was Boomie against Pugsy. I'm trying to remember which BCS it was, but Boomie pulled out his Lucian, and Pugsy, who understands guitars and understands guns, decided to do the money match, and Boomie just absolutely wiped the floor with him just because he has a more broad understanding of pretty much every weapon than I think Pugsy does, and I'm loving this Sentinel pick from him.
It's a strong pick. I mean, Pugsy used to play Sentinel. I think we're transitioning back to the game. It's going to be Boomie versus Pugsy. For those of you who are just like, who are these people? What's going on? It's Boomie versus Pugsy. Pugsy used to play Sentinel, you know, like a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, back before we even had separate regions for competitive. Pugsy would play Sentinel, and he'd be going up, and he was just making the Sentinel work. But now it seems like Boomie's playing it. I know Boomie's a big fan of guitars, and Hammer it's just a strong kill weapon.
I can't wait to see Boomie's movement. I think he has probably one of the best movement patterns in the game. He is just all over the place. That's why his Lucian was so effective. Like, he does to top tier players what people like Ilyu with Lucian do to me in ranked. Like, he will just run all over and just stampede all over his opponents with his chain dodges, with his chase dodges, with just random recoveries, especially gun recoveries coming out of nowhere. You never expect them. He can take stocks off of people so quickly because they just simply don't see moves coming.
And his opponent, Pugsy, is going to be playing this Hattori pick. Hattori kind of fell out of favor. Like we were talking about, Eggsoup was like the really big pusher of the Hattori meta in competitive, and he dropped off, switched over to the Valorant. Seems like Pugsy has picked up that mantle, or maybe it's a direct counter. I know I talked to Boomie a little while ago, and he was saying that he's actually been practicing quite a few characters for specific matchups, and it seems like Pugsy has been playing this Hattori, and Boomie wants to go Sentinel against it.
And I mean, both of these characters have high movement speed. Obviously, Hattori. Oh, the double downlight.
Oh!
Pugsy with
picks up the nair.
Quick kill off the top. Maybe if Boomie had the one more block in his defense that he took away to put in Dex. The double downlight recovery nair kill off the top. I have not seen one of those kills in so long. And Boomie getting the dare. Pugsy still having enough movement in his kit to get back to the other side.
Just fantastic play from Pugsy to pick up the double downlight recovery and recognize that Boomie was staying there. A second opportunity. Boomie stays high. He's trying to catch Pugsy. He wants to reverse it with those recoveries, but that's a risky play. Pugsy can get underneath and catch him with another nair for a finisher, and I don't know if Boomie can afford it right now.
And that's the aggression from Pugsy that we were talking about earlier. He went for the recovery nair kill off the top. He's like, okay, that missed. I could go back and get stage control. Nope, gravity cancel down signature. I missed that. All right, I could go back. Nope, I'm gonna ground pound. Just straight ground pound from off the screen.
Nice side air from Boomie. Will finish it up and even up the stocks, but Pugsy, he's looking real strong right now against Boomie's Sentinel pick.
Now, specifically, we were mentioning about like character counter picks, but Pugsy himself is kind of like a counter pick to Boomie. I didn't even know that this number was true, but apparently in tournaments, Pugsy has like an 8-0 record against Boomie in terms of sets.
That is not a good record to have, but Boomie hopefully trying to turn that number around, put it into an 8-1. As he goes for the ground pound, not able to catch, but a gravity cancel stomp off stage finishes off with a dare. Boomie in the red, gonna clear the board. Oh,
who does a gravity cancel? Who does a gravity cancel stomp side air on the edge? Like, I've seen people do it on the corner, but who does it that deep on the edge? Nobody but Boomie.
I mean, that's it's a risky play, but it works out fantastically for him. It does burn his dodge when he goes for that gravity cancel, but it doesn't matter if he can connect with the. Pugsy looking for a finisher now. Going for those the ground pounds and recoveries on the Boomie. Side air will take down Boomie. Board clear.
And even though that first stock was taken just breathtakingly quickly, Boomie has a lead on Pugsy. He's getting him like right on the border of orange. Now officially orange with the downlight nair.
He's back to the hammer, back to the kill options. Side sig, Pugsy able to space it out.
And we haven't seen Boomie really throw any signatures out with that hammer until that side signature just now. He's going to dip down below that platform, follow it up with a hammer side air. So much force on that. And look at the damage difference between the two. It was 528 to 343. A good bit of that, however, is going to come from how quickly Pugsy took that very first stock.
I mean, Boomie, he's just so familiar with that hammer kit, but it seems like Pugsy gonna mix it up. He didn't quite like the Hattori in that matchup, so he's gonna go to the Bode Bar, sticking with the sword, but now he's got a hammer to answer Boomie's hammer.
Now this Bode Bar pick is kind of Pugsy's old main. I think you used to call it like, okay, when Pugsy picks Bode Bar, he's trying hard.
Right. I mean, that's kind of how it was back in the day, is back when everyone was playing Bode Bar, Pugsy would mix it up. He'd play the Sentinel. He'd play whatever else. It was kind of flavor of the month. He had a Barraza at one point. But when it came down to it, if he was down a game, if he was down in a set, he'll switch to the Bode Bar, and that's where he'll just start having success.
I miss Pugsy's Barraza.
It was a very short-lived Barraza, to say the least.
I like Cody Travis's, but I miss Pugsy's Barraza. Ooh. Oh, that weapon toss might have just saved his life.
I mean, Pugsy, the dare would have put him close. I don't know if it would have killed per se, but hey, why not just not even be close to it as Pugsy gets another Sair? Another Sair?
Pugsy outspacing that Sair perfectly, going deep down for that hammer recovery. Never be above a hammer. Just don't ever be there. That's not a place you want to live.
Next to those walls, there's nowhere for Boomie to go except for to the left and up. And Pugsy can cover more or less two of those options with that hammer recovery.
It's still such a great move. Probably one of my top 5 moves in the entire game of best moves. This is
a strong
scary.
offstage play. The Sair. Boomie wins it up. Ooh, the hammer gun, the Sair into the stomp neutral light, a gravity cancel stomp into the dare. Boomie showing that he knows how to use that stomp basically anywhere at any time.
Boomie has the most innovative hammer kit. He uses moves like nobody else uses them. Everybody else kind of plays a very straightforward hammer. Even if it's good, they play a very straightforward hammer, trying to get him off the top. Pugsy trying to get down as fast as he possibly can with that ground pound.
I mean, I'm almost remiss to see that Boomie's not playing Cassidy, because as fantastic as his hammer play is with the Sentinel, his Cassidy is just this whole other monster. He gets another dare onto Pugsy. Not quite enough to finish him off, but Pugsy being a little bit trepidatious, doesn't want to quite get back up to the stage just yet.
Both players using that island, faking like they're going to go over the top and then going into the bottom. Ooh, Boomie thought about it. He thought about aggressing onto that hammer. Downlight Sair from that right side of the stage is not quite going to kill. That's the high defense.
Ooh. And Pugsy immediately disengages, doesn't even want to think about going for that recovery onto Boomie.
Oh! Wow! The lightning fast run off the stage, ground pound. A lot of players. You used to see players doing that more. They haven't done it in a while. Usually they'll use 2 jumps to get up high and then wait for their opponent to blow all their movement. But Boomie just going straight onto that hammer. He didn't want Pugsy to get that timing for the hammer recovery.
Yeah, I mean, that was absurdly close. You saw Pugsy was in the startup of that hammer recovery, and Boomie just barely won out with his Qatar ground pound.
Oh, he was looking for that recovery. He was waiting for it after the neutral light. You do not do neutral light straight into recovery because your opponent will back dodge. But Pugsy was able to pick him up with that down air, send him off the top. It was high enough.
Pugsy able to pick up a stomp neutral light. The damage has been evened up as Boomie is taking these side sigs, and Pugsy's not, he's still doing it. He's just going for those side sigs.
It still makes me mad that downlight into neutral light is a thing. Like, that's 30 damage that you just get.
No, it's fine. It's fine because it only hits.
Look at Pugsy!
Pugsy!
The recovery, the dare, the stomp side. Is he gonna throw the hammer?
Does he need to? Another side stick thrown out. Boomie's staying on this island, trying to see if Pugsy is gonna make a mistake. The neutral air will give Boomie some breathing room. He's got the guitars. He's got the neutral air into the recovery. Pugsy's not dead yet.
Disarmed.
Side stick thrown out. Pugsy's gonna punish.
Very brash neutral signature. Oh, Boomie just
neutral
got that side air. He has stage control. He has a weapon. Oh,
down sig!
I could
Speed dodges in. Pugsy. I think Pugsy was expecting Boomie to do the dodge forward and either a dodge back or just a triple dodge forward and the turnaround side sig. Either way, he was not expecting the down sig and immediately took it. And great play from Boomie to finish it off. Wins it out 2-0 over Pugsy. And that is going to give him the 8-1 record in tournament.
No disrespect to EU or my guy Multimum, but I could watch Boomie and Pugsy play all day. Oh my goodness.
But the winner of that is going to go on to fight Eggsoup. So that is also going to be an exciting matchup. But before we get to that, we're going to be going to another part of the bracket. We're going to be seeing Starlight back at it again, going up against someone who you talked about a little while ago, the young Cody Travis, potentially on that Barraza.
I'm going to the gun players Discord to see what his role is, because we all have roles for who we main. Cody Travis just has like all the gun characters though, so that's not really going to give me any good information there. I'd like to see him with Barraza, especially with the stat changes, kind of bringing the extremes kind of in towards the middle. Those lower decks characters, especially with being able to add a point in there from the stances as well, really makes those lower decks characters much more viable than they used to be. It makes those peripheral characters that were kind of on the periphery of should I not play them? Should I just go with a Bodvar? It makes those characters kind of show up a lot and make play just a lot more diverse.
So I do want to call out. I did a quick glance through the bracket. Cody Travis, he played Barraza for one, I think maybe a game or a set, but for the most part, it's been Lucian actually has been his pick. More than likely that 4-Force Lucian has been kind of the popular pick of the Lucians that we've been seeing so far in tournament. Do you think he'll be playing the Lucian again? Starlight more than likely will be on that Asuri. Which one do you think has the advantage, the Lucian or the Barraza?
I would say both for two different things. Barraza, obviously, for his 8 defense, do the deck stance, or Lucian for his high movement speed. It depends what he wants to go for. Does he just want to go with straight trades? Then I'd pick Barraza. If he wants to go with rotating in, around, everywhere, trying to just overrun Starlight, then you go with the Lucian.
All right, I think we're gonna go ahead and pop up the Starlight graphic, talk about Starlight once again, because just in case some people didn't get to see it earlier on today, Starlight was able to win it out in BCX in 2v2s. He got first place alongside his teammate Daiku. In 1v1s, what did he get?
In 1v1 Starlight?
What do you get?
I don't have it on my paper because I was relying on the graphics, and there's the graphic. He got first place in 2v2, 7th place in 1v1, so he was top 8 in 1v1. I want to give props to Starlight though, because he got his name Twilight and then his name Starlight because of My Little Pony. Homie is just gonna rep it. Like, he is just gonna straight up say, yeah, I watch My Little Pony on the reg. And as somebody who still watches,
he owns himself.
As somebody who still watches wrestling and talks about it all the time, you can attest to that. I give props to Starlight.
Is that a new graphic? Yeah.
Oh yes, they used the picture.
That is Star W. All right.
Raven made these cards, and he's the king at picking the absolute worst pictures. For the Daiku ones earlier, like there was the one with his really red face. There was the one where he was like Creep Lord. I told Raven to use the one that somebody put up on Twitter where it had his eyebrows photoshopped out of it. I really wanted him to use that one. But Raven is such a troll for picking the absolute worst pictures for these cards.
I mean, I don't know if you've been like reading them, but there have been some like relatively trolly things. I think for Eggsoup, it says he plays the game with a piano. There's I think
it's just he plays piano.
I mean, chat was filling up with he plays Brawlhalla with a piano. All right, just saying. Oh well. Regardless, that's Starlight. He's gonna be going up against apparently the evil Cody Travis. That's 3's up Starlight versus Cody Travis happening in just a little bit. Cody Travis, once again, I'm gonna ask you, Barasa, Lucian, which one?
I want him to go with Barasa because I like Barasa. I think we've seen a fair number of Lucians. We used to never see Lucian, never ever ever, and I kind of don't want to see Lucian a lot now because nobody uses Big Hat Lucian. And that's the best skin in the game, and it kind of bothers me that people are like, no man, Plague Doctor's cool, or the new one because he's got a cool hat. No, get Big Hat Lucian.
Navy
and then
guy.
we can talk. Yeah, that one. Like it's a cool
man.
skin. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's not the best skin in the game. And since we're on the order of skins, Starlight is still playing that nasty Asuri skin, that gross, disgusting.
Yo, it's the mind games. It's the skin that makes you uncomfortable to fight against it. Starlight, he's going for that alien Asuri, going up against Barasa, but it's good because Barasa, he's got that mask, he's got a breathalyzer, he's not gonna get sick from any of those alien juices or fumes. He'll be fine.
Like that Asuri skin is like something that's in the next season of Stranger Things.
3, 2,
I'm calling it right now.
I think it is just straight up the monster that comes out it comes out from a wall. But Cody Travis is coming into it. He's got the gun kit. He's already starting to rack up the damage. The dare into a gravity cancel neutralize. That is something that you don't really see too often anymore. It used to be a popular combo, but it's not true anymore, right?
BMG made it harder to hit, and it's not fair. If you're like really, really stacked, you can still get it true if I'm not mistaken. It's either true or it's like one dodge window. But Cody, of all the kind of dedicated gun players, Cody Travis definitely one of the best in North America. I still think Boomie's guns are better, but he's not technically like a dedicated gun player in the same vein that Cody Travis is. I love Cody's movement with it, his understanding of all the tech, his usage of X pivots and just regular pivots, and his positioning with guns. Fantastic.
But it's got to try to outposition the Starlight, the guy who knows how to max range stairs for days, knows how to just get right into those empty spaces, the dead spaces in your hitboxes, and get the combos. He gets a nair onto Cody Travis. Another one will finish it off.
Cody Travis just absolutely juggled when he has the option of a dare, a huge range of axe dare. Oh, maybe that's why Cody was juggled. This is not going to fall in the 10-second range, so everything right now is just Starlight being a gentleman.
Yeah, this is Starlight just being polite, trying to see if Cody Travis is going to come back into it. We are seeing his controller and/or keyboard is at least functional, but maybe he's just trying to get his cat off his keyboard or something. Not quite sure. He comes back, immediately picks up a recovery.
It was all a bit. He was just trying to go for that recovery. Pick up the downlight dare, downlight dare. That downlight dare move coming out of Starlight.
Axe in Cody Travis's hand. Can't quite get the dare onto Starlight. Starlight gets right past it. Gets him with the recovery, and Cody Travis is getting back to that kill range. Off stage.
Oh, fishing
Waits
for
out
the
neutral sig.
fishing for that gravity cancel neutral sig. That's just like, that's Barraza 101. Cody Travis gonna pick up that stock, but he is not in good shape right now. He's gonna stick to his guns for those high DPS. You're seeing those X pivot dares. Comes through with X pivot nares as well.
I mean, if there's any weapon to try to build up damage quickly and safely, guns have that potential. They've got the most range in the game, I believe, and they've also got some of the fastest DPS in the game. But it's going to be on Cody Travis to utilize that as the ground pound comes out from Starlight just outside of that Nair hitbox.
Great option from Cody Travis. The Nair, that is how you contest people coming down on top of you, is with that Nair. It comes out so incredibly fast. I think I'm looking at the damage numbers right now. 18 or 15 if you hit the first one. It's 18, 15 if you hit the second one. But that is how you recover safely back onto the stage.
I mean, they used to be a lot more. But Starlight, great presence of mind, recognizes that Cody Travis is going to be looking for that Nair to try to dissuade him from edge guarding, and just waits it out and then punishes. Gets under, Nairs, juggling. Cody Travis, don't let go of your controller this time. He gets back down to ground.
Oh,
the dare.
just immediately stuffing that recovery. It does take a little while to build up. It has 12 frames before it actually throws any hitboxes out. So you saw Starlight immediately jump all over that and stuff that as quick as he possibly could with those dares. Cody Travis having kind of a rough first game against Starlight. He just came off a win against Astronaut, and Astro's great at this game. He is a player who has made incredible strides in the past few months. So it's not like Cody was able to walk his way up to this point.
For sure. I mean, Astro, he's one of those guys. I think he actually 2v2'd with Starlight. I know he's played with Remy, I think. So he's been around. He's definitely a strong force. But Cody able to get through, and it seems like maybe the last mask he had didn't quite protect him enough. He's got to put on an overcoat as well as a new hockey mask to protect himself from this alien Asuri skin that that Starlight is repping.
This is the top 5 skin in the game right here. I'm not gonna say like the license word because I'm not trying to go to jail or get fined or anything. But whatever this skin is called, I forgot. Now we're seeing Cody build up some momentum with those guns. If his axe play could get to that point, I think he has a very real shot against Starlight.
But he's got to be careful about that offstage play. Start staring, trying to use that hot tech, going for those pivot dares. But he can't quite connect on the Starlight. Starlight just doing a great job staying right underneath him so that the second Cody gets too low, he can punish. Ground pound. And Cody's out. Stare.
Oh, he dodged down. Oh! And if he had to dodge down, he might have been able to get back. He might have been able to dodge through the attack and have enough room to get back and touch the wall, resetting his jumps. Cody Travis having a little bit of a struggle here. Starlight is just doing a great job of overspacing to where Cody can't hit him with anything and then getting in that gun dead zone.
He's just doing a great job as well of keeping that pressure on. Cody Travis manages to catch him with the dare, but Starlight is going to do a little bit of damage on his way out the door. Gets taken down to his second stock, and a weapon spawns just in time for him to immediately nair Cody Travis into the sky.
I don't know if Cody meant to take that Qatar recovery or if he was just going down to do like a dare or a ground pound or anything like that, but he can't risk taking damage that much at this point. He's getting closer and closer into the red. We're seeing the dare side airs though coming out.
Ooh, didn't go for the usual follow-up off that downlight. Instead, went for a pivot nair. He's going to go into the shenanigans. Starlight is going to be in position, but the weapon toss gives Cody some breathing room. Can't pick up the weapon in time. Gets caught by the nair from Starlight. But Starlight's he's reasonably damaged.
It's interesting that you're kind of seeing whenever Cody is recovering back to the stage, he's using all of his jumps and his dodge before he uses his gun recovery. I'm not sure if that's because, oh, he might be eating something real quick. The dare.
Cody does have his jumps back. should be able to disengage here, but he wants to stay in position because he knows if he can catch Starlight, blinking, Starlight's gonna fall down, and Starlight couldn't quite get to the wall. And just like that, the stocks have been evened up.
Starlight playing maybe a little bit too confidently. Cody just went for the downlight when Starlight was in white health and didn't follow up with a sidelight.
Is sidelight the usual follow-up? I thought Sarah was the usual follow-up.
When they're in white, you can do downlight, sidelight, and I think if you're at 9 decks, you can do downlight, sidelight, and then follow that up with a Sair.
Okay. I just know the downlight. I'm not a big gun guy.
Sidelight will do 22 damage. Sair does like 15 or 16.
Okay. So a little bit more efficient to follow up with that sidelight in the white health. But Cody Travis, he's not looking about efficiency. He's looking for the kill, starting to throw out those down sigs.
I want to see Cody play really, really grounded and catch Twilight with a recovery.
Down
or a down signature. You didn't see hardly any signatures coming out of Cody Travis. You saw
damage. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I know you're talking about how Cody Travis
absolutely.
hasn't thrown out a sig.
That's incredibly
and he
close.
hasn't. But that is 6 damage. That is, I mean, that's less than a sword downlight in damage. That's less than a weapon toss in damage. I mean, I don't have 6 fingers on a hand, but that is 6 damage between the two. That is absurd.
And that's coming from Starlight having to kill an 8 defense character compared to Cody Travis having to kill a 6 defense
5?
character in that Asuri. 5.
He's not running he's not running the stance. It's okay.
Yeah, I can't read.
He was thinking about the stance. I think we saw a couple of series with some stances, but no, Starlight, he's running just the stock 5 defense stat. Cody Travis, he's gotta calm down a little bit. He said, "Give me a second," because he needs to recompose himself. Might be riding a little bit too high off of that first game win.
Do you think he should stick with this Barraza or maybe switch to Lucian?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the Barraza's a strong pick. His gun kit is amazing, and I think Axe is strong right now. I think Axe is just a really strong weapon, and it's gonna give him a little bit better spacing advantage against Starlight's guitars because it's got those giant sweeping hitboxes. So if Starlight kind of mispositions, then Cody Travis is gonna be able to slap him with a big sidelight into something.
Oh, absolutely. Axe is an incredible weapon. I haven't today been feeling Cody Travis's Axe. I've seen it before and I know what it can do. I just haven't been feeling it today so far.
Oh yeah, it's definitely been very gun centric for him, and it's been a very effective gun game from Cody Travis. He's hit quite a few downlight combos with that gun kit, as well as we just saw the down sig for him, as well as a handful of recoveries. So I mean, the Axe is obviously working out for him as well, as he's knocking Starlight around.
Even when he misses that neutral light, you come out with that downlight. Incredible hitboxing on the downlight. Comes out 8 frames, 15 damage. One of the best moves in the game. The double downlight misses the Sair.
Is that a DI forward from Cody Travis to make sure he didn't get caught?
It might have been.
Great presence of mind for Cody Travis to recognize that Starlight was going to be looking for that option. Almost catches him with that gravity cancel neutral sig. We're seeing Cody Travis isn't even thinking about the guns. He wants to get this finisher with his Axe.
I mean, the way he's been playing so far today with it, it takes him a little while with those guns. He hasn't been catching Starlight with recoveries or anything like that, going right under the weapon toss.
Oh, Cody Travis tried to recover real low. You saw him, he had potential. I think he could have recovered back to the stage, but Starlight waited it out and was able to pick up the ground pound.
Now he's starting to try and throw out those recoveries.
And that's what he needs right now. That's his big kill option with this gun kit.
Twilight doing a great job of kind of staying one jump height, not giving Cody Travis a lot of room to really get under him to pick him up with those recoveries. Oh, drops that one.
But he picks it up. It's going to even it up. Clears the board, sticking with the guns this time. I mean, he had some effective plays with that Axe kit, but it seems like guns. That's just where his heart is. That's his home. Recoveries from Starlight.
You're just trying to zone. Nice down air, side air.
The weapon toss can't quite get the nair as Starlight goes underneath the platform. Cody Travis, he actually went for a ground pound there. Was looking to turn it around onto Starlight. The Sair sends him off. Oh, and a ground pound again from Starlight. He's been effective with those ground pounds. Recognizes when his opponent's burned everything and connects with the ground pound. Oh,
gets right in! Beats that down signature with frames. Starlight on that guitar neutralite. Now he's got Cody off stage.
He
Cody
burned his recovery, burned his dodge. Cody's dead.
Position.
Player one win.
Cody
He held
Travis-
the ground pound a little bit too long. And then when he went for the recovery, ended up putting himself right under stage. And just like that, Starlight again recognized the opportunity for the ground pound, finished it off.
You saw that Starlight was trying to take Cody Travis off stage. He was doing it with those down airs to the left. He was trying to carry him off. And then Cody Travis just handed it to him on a silver platter. Maybe he didn't expect the ground pound to keep him in that animation for that long, so he wasn't going to fall that far. But oh my word, Starlight capitalizing on that just fantastic positioning for himself.
Just excellent use of ground pounds. I think all 3 of his kills in that last match were ground pounds. Starlight showing that he's not only effective in the horizontal game with those Sairs, but he's also very effective with that vertical game with those ground pounds. We'll continue on. I believe he is going to fight the winner of this match. Yes, it's going to be LDZ versus Wrenched. How about you tell me about the boy that is LDZ?
I want Wrench to win today. I said it on Twitter. Last
a-
night, I dropped a message in the Brawlhalla Esports Discord. Back when we did the BCS weeklies, I would message like the top 16, top 20, top 25 every week, being like, hey, who are you playing this week? What's changed from last week? How do you feel about the current balance, the meta, all that business? I've been working 60, 70-hour weeks, so I wasn't able to do that until late last night, and I dropped it in the Esports Discord. My man Wrench replied immediately. That is my guy.
Wrench
is my dude. After he got second in Brawl League Masters in a hellacious fight against Twilight Asuri mirror matches, Wrenched is my dude. And the way he looks in that goofy picture, he is definitely my man.
Hold up. All right. Do you know, is it Wrenched D or is it Wrenched?
If it's Wrench D, I'm going to be real mad. And I'm probably not going to say that.
It's... I always get it mixed up. Is it Wrenched D? Is it Wrenched? I don't know. But his claim to fame, he got second place in the most recent Brawl League Masters. He got 5th place in 2v2s at BCX, as well as 17th place in 1v1s. Definitely not something to be slept on, to say the least. He's been an absolute monster. His guitar game is absurd. I think part of the creed himself praises Wrenched guitars whenever we would cast him in Monday Night Brawls. He's definitely an absolute monster when he plays.
I mean, I wouldn't really trust part of the Creed's judgment of Katars because my Lucian Katars beat part of the Creed in
called
customs.
Out money match.
But yeah, like exactly like this graphic says, the Dark Horse. Where did this guy come from? That's exactly it. He just was here. He is probably one of the biggest up and comers. Really, one of the only up and comers that we've seen kind of break into the scene. Recently, like since BCX, a little bit before BCX, and like that, it's just overnight. He seemed to just kind of be there, kind of right on the periphery of the really, really, really top players. And I think given even just a little bit of time, Wrenched is going to make his way onto the scene.
But I don't know if he's got enough time, as he is going to be going up against LDZ, once again, the winner of the 1v1 BCX tournament, the winner of Worlds. Considered by and large to be the #1 Brawlhalla 1v1er. Can Wrench do it?
Personally, I don't think so. But that's not a dig at Wrench. That's because, hey man, you're going up against the best player in the world. I'm sorry you got to go up against him this early. That's kind of rough. I think Wrench is going to put up a pretty good fight. But we have that LDZ graphic up. This might be one of the only like normal human pictures other than Doughbrains
I think
that we've seen today.
I think the reason that is because LDZ he's pretty much not on social media ever, and so I think Raiden just had less optionry for goofy pics, considering I think he had to take this off of one of the pictures from BCX. But as it says on there, LDZ, he got first place in 1v1, second place in 2v2s. I believe he have the highest total money earned in all of Brawlhalla right now.
I mean, I would be very surprised if he didn't.
I mean, he's an absolute monster. He's known for his Koji, but it seems like today is the day for the Ragnar to show up. He's definitely someone that he's gonna make it very difficult for you to get through him, to say the least. But with that,
be going back to the match, I'm sure these young lads are ready. Usually players are ready to go, and they're the ones waiting on us.
I'm going to go ahead and give them the AOK. We're going to see Wrench lock in that Ember. There's the Ragnar pick for LDZ. When it comes down to it, I think Wrench has more practice with Katars, but maybe LDZ just is... He's just gonna LDZ factor it and just do whatever he wants and somehow finish it off with a side sig off the stage.
Now, maybe LDZ has just been putting in the work hours and hours and hours, but for like a longer period of a calendar, absolutely, I think Wrenched has had more experience in that sense with Katars. I haven't seen him really play this Ember though, because when he played Brawl League Masters, it was primarily a Surrey.
I mean, it's similar. It's again Qatar centric. That's kind of his real wheelhouse. But it's very strong guitar play. It's very informative. He does a lot of those resets where he'll go for a neutral light and then wait for you to burn your dodge and then just punish.
I'm also curious to see how his bow is gonna do. If that's something that he can rely on in a pinch, or if that's when are they gonna spawn a weapon? When are they gonna spawn a weapon? I need guitars.
I mean, pulling out a bow against LDZ, that's like, I don't have a really good analogy, but like that's LDZ's weapon. Like that is, LDZ has been an absolute monster with the bow in previous tournaments, but it seems like he's also a monster with this dragon as he gets a side sig on Wrench.
Ooh, Wrench just punching LDZ right in the back of the head. Not wasting any time grabbing that weapon. Gets the signature, taking out LDZ without taking a hit.
He just waited for LDZ to come down to that ground pound and just immediately hot steps it with the down sig and gets the kill.
Nice down light dare to a side light. He's going to have to get those consistently, though. He can't trade with LDZ. LDZ is going to do more damage with that axe.
So it seems like Wrenched is in fact not trading, as he's just keeping that pressure right on LDZ. You're not seeing him go high in the sky. He's not really chasing with that recovery on top of LDZ. It's more often than not just been grounded Qatar play from Wrench. He'll go up a little bit with like a downlight dare, but then he'll immediately go back down to ground and look for that side light, look for the neutral light.
There's a little bit of height from Wrench. Starting to play 2 jump heights, 3 jump heights in the air. Gets the nice side signature. And Wrench just in a very clean, all of a sudden manner, taking away that stock from LDZ. Putting himself in reasonable territory.
But he is playing the Ember. Definitely want to point out that it's not a high defense character. There's only potential for LDZ to come and finish off this stock if Wrench isn't careful.
Ooh, and he dodged upward. That's a little bit of a strange dodge choice. Dodging off of the neutral light. He jumped and dodged?
I think he was waiting for the immediate recovery from LDZ, but LDZ, with great patience, waited for Wrench to dodge and then followed right after with the recovery.
I'm surprised he didn't try to back dodge it, though, because that puts you in prime territory to punish it.
Maybe a slight misstep from Wrench, but regardless, great capitalization from LDZ to take the stock, even it up, as well as take the lead with this Guitars, just building up the damage on the Wrench.
The dare to the chase dodge neutral light. Ooh, and LDZ, I don't know if he was gonna try and go for that ground pound, or if he just wanted that stage control. He's still aggressing on a Wrench, unarmed. Now he picks up that axe, but he's gonna elect for these Guitars. I think he just feels more confident in the signature kit with the Guitars. Oh, nice neutral light into the turnaround recovery. And in another close game for LDZ, he's going to take it, go 1-0 right now. against Wrench.
These are definitely a lot closer than we're used to seeing from LDZ. Generally speaking, we see LDZ just kind of get quick kills, a lot of offstage play, a lot of quick gimps. But it seems like LDZ, it's been a little bit more even, a little bit closer, a little bit more, I don't know, heart wrenching. Watching LDZ fight.
Wrenched is playing with this defense stat though, so that does give him an extra point going from 3 to 4. 4 defense, not the worst thing in the world to play with. 3 defense can be pretty rough at times, or even like Zalaxry plays a 2 defense Ember in 2v2s, which just makes me physically ill. There's the neutral light recovery. Qatar neutral light into recovery has kind of been out of fashion for I think long enough that people are starting to do it again. It's like vintage clothing now, so that the people are not expecting their opponent to do it, so they're not even dodging back it at this point anymore.
He's being the Qatar hipster a little bit.
He has no dodge. Oh, and if he would have held that just a little bit longer, LDZ didn't have a dodge. That would have been a kill.
Both of them in the red. Wrenched is disarmed off stage, but LDZ wants to stay on stage. Punish Wrench coming up. Wrench not able to get the down sig. Weapon toss very close to Wrench's head. And the side air will finish it off.
I think we've seen more unarmed side air kills today from NA than I've seen from anybody in the past like 8 months.
I mean, that just goes to show you, just because you're unarmed doesn't mean you're weaponless. The side air, the weapon toss, Wrench looking for the ground pound, picks it up, evens it up, and there's an unarmed kill as well, that ground pound from Wrench.
Oh, and there's the mix-up from LDZ. The last time he hit that neutral light, he went for the recovery. That time he didn't. He didn't even try to read the opposite direction recovery. That time he was just waiting for dodges to punish.
This has been very even. I mean, LDZ starting to get the string, gets the dare side light, neutral light, wanted to follow up with the recovery, couldn't quite pick it up. Wrenched wants to get that dare approach onto LDZ. Ground pound misses. Oh, the Sair! Weapon toss! And Wrench doesn't have the movement.
Wrench missed his Sair. LDZ did the turnaround Sair of his own. He used to do that all the time with Bo. He would do that all the time to bounce them off the stage. He would do that in the opposite direction of the stage. He can do it with Bo. He can do it with Qatars.
Wrench, though, he's got the bow in hand. It's got some kill opportunities. There's the downlight into the recovery. Not quite enough force on it to take down LDZ. Second recovery will do it. Wrench going to clear the board. Do you think he'll stick with the Qatars?
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and say yes because I know that he's doing it, so I can look like I'm right and smart.
Yo, you're a savant. Wrenched with this Qatar game. He's prepped the second set of Qatars if he wants to stick with it. He's getting the approaches onto LDZ, but he's got to be careful. This is the exact same spot he got taken down just a little while ago as he went for the Sair off stage and got turned around.
He's mixing up his approaches after that dare too. You saw him do a dare downlight, then a nair, then you saw him do a dare side light, and then he tried to follow up with a downlight after that. So mix-ups coming out of LDZ and Wrenched as well. And this game has just slowed down. Both players playing very careful of each other.
Ooh, great dodge alongside LDZ. Wrenched able to stick with him so that he can build more damage onto LDZ. LDZ's unarmed. Wrenched taking the opportunity to clear it. Qatars are in his hand, but LDZ's not going to turn around. Instead, he's going to stick with his axe.
Oh, he needs to be careful. I'm just throwing out signatures like that when
Oh!
LDZ has an axe and Wrenched is in red.
Player one win.
That was close, but no cigar. LDZ takes it out with the axe recovery in the latter parts of the frames and takes down Wrenched, wins it out 2-0. But I mean, Wrenched was close both games.
Yeah, both games were absolutely nail biters, and if you know me, you know I bite my nails all the time, so even more of a nail biter there. LDZ has had close games with everybody we've seen him play against today. I don't know if he's just taking it easy, if he's kind of easing himself back into the scene, if he's maybe holding stuff for later, like Dobrain makes guides and shares a good bit of his tech with the world. LDZ may not. I think that's smart. I wouldn't share it. If he found it, if I found it, I ain't gonna share nothing with nobody.
You know what? I'm gonna share some information with you guys about some LAN tournaments coming up. Let's bring up the graphic as we talk about CEO Dreamland coming up in April. Who's going?
A lot of people. I'm going. You're going. Dolebrain's going. Boomie's going. Pugsy's going. A lot of your favorite Smash players are probably going. You see, Raiden said, if you don't go to BCX, go to Combo Breaker. I'm going to say if you don't go to BCX, go to Dreamland. Or go to BCX and Dreamland and Combo Breaker, because they're all going to be sick.
Go to all of them. They're all going to be absolutely insane. There's going to be a whole lot of circuit points for both CEO as well as Combo Breaker, and that's my segue into the Combo Breaker graphic. Combo Breaker is going to be in Illinois, so if you can't quite make it to the southeast of America, to the Florida Panhandle, you can try to make it up to the north to get to the Illinois and play it out against the likes of Zoloxery and potentially Boomie and Stevenator.
Stevenator's definitely going to be there. That's basically his backyard. A lot of people are going to be at Combo Breaker as well. You said Zoloxery, right?
Right. Zoloxery is going to be there. Stevenator is going to be there. Do you know of anyone else who's going to be there?
Anyone else that's guaranteed right now, I'm not quite sure. I know that you're going to be there, and I'm going to be there, and Raiden's going to be there.
Are you even sure about the Raiden one?
I'm just kind of saying stuff. He's probably going to be there.
I mean, he definitely, I think his name is on this graphic at least a handful of times.
I mean, if he's saying if you can't go to BCX, go to Combo Breaker, and he's not going to Combo Breaker, I mean, come on. That's a little bit messed up.
I mean, there's a beautiful irony to it. Maybe even the likes of You Got Thrown is going to be there, which would be exciting. But regardless, it's going to be a LAN environment. It's going to be awesome. Definitely something that you don't want to miss out on is going to either of these tournaments. If you can't make one, I would highly recommend trying to go to the other or both if ever possible. If you can't make the April one, there's going to be one in May. It's going to be CEO and Combo Breaker. Those are going to be coming later this year. They've got circuit points. It's awesome. But we've got a tournament underway. It's going to be Boomie versus Eggsoup. Boy, Boomie, do you want to talk about him?
Sure, go ahead and put that Boomie graphic up.
Let's get that Boomie graphic
Boomie
up.
has such a bright little face. When he smiles, it just lights up a room. And
you tell me I'm being creepy, then you say this stuff? Come on.
This isn't creepy.
Come on.
His smile lights up a room. He's got a very bright smile, and he's a nice young man.
I don't know if you're allowed to say this stuff, all right? Boomie, I mean, he's a solid player. He got 3rd place in 2v2s, 5th place in 1v1s. He's made quite a lot of money playing Brawlhalla and has made quite a name for himself. He's got fantastic movement. It's what you've been talking about throughout the tournament. It's that Boomie's got some impeccable movement, and he's going to be going up against his friend Eggsoup TV. Let's bring up the Eggsoup graphic and talk about the fact that Eggsoup got 4th place in 2v2s behind Boomie and Remy, alongside his teammate Pugsy. And I believe he got, 7th place in one of those? I didn't write it down. Do you know it?
Eggsoup, what was it?
What was his 1v1 record at BCX?
He was 4th. 4th in 1v1, 4th in 2v2. Number 1 in our hearts.
And theoretically the number 1 Val as well, as we get back into it. It's going to be Boomie versus Eggsoup. Eggsoup on the Val, Boomie on the Sentinel. And like I was saying, I thought Boomie was using Sentinel as kind of a counter pick against certain people, but maybe he just wants to play the Sentinel.
I love a Sentinel pick. I've been wanting more people to play Sentinel for about 1,000 years. Even back when Physic played Sentinel, I wanted more people to play Sentinel. Maybe not in the same way that Physic did, at least when I was playing against him, because that was the most frustrating thing in the world. But Sentinel is a great character. We talk about it week after week. The signature kit, you can just throw him out there like candy, especially on Hammer. He has survivability for days. He has movement for days. His dex, especially with the dex or the stat changes, it's much more forgiving. Him having Katars, are so much more forgiving on lower decks characters. That's why you used to see people play Queen Nai, even though she had low decks, because she had Katars. It was more forgiving. Everybody and their dad needs to play Sentinel.
I mean, I think as of late, Sentinel's been a lot more popular, in part due to some multiple kind of bringing it back and being like, hey guys, you know, Sentinel's actually like really stupid good, and we should all play it again. And Boomie apparently heard that statement and was like, you know what? I think you're right. I'm gonna play some Sentinel myself. As we get into this, I'm gonna give them the A-OK. It's gonna be Boomie versus Eggsoup. This is the first match of the winners semis. Winner of this goes on to the winners finals. It's gonna be Eggsoup versus Boomie, a best of 3. What do you think of the character matchups? I know you're talking about how you like Sentinel, but is Sentinel a good option against Val?
I think he absolutely is. He's gonna have similar movement speed to her. They're pretty much, they are the same in stats. They're the same stat wise. With these stances that they've chosen, it's 5-5-6-6. So I think Boomie is going to be able to contest gauntlets. He's going to be a little bit outranged by sword, just a little bit if he has Katars. But with hammer, he's going to outrange sword. With hammer, he's going to outrange gauntlets. And I think he's going to keep Eggsoup at bay that way with his movement and with his range. And you're already seeing him coming out of the gate, moving 1,000,000 miles an hour. But Egg is too.
Oh, but the hot step with the hammer this time gets the down 6, sends Eggsoup off stage. But this is where Eggsoup wants to be. If he has you off stage, he's got a lot more kill potential as he can go for that gauntlet ground pound.
I mean, honestly, I think Boomie wants you off stage too. So anything that's
with
off
Katars?
stage, both of them, absolutely. Both of them, I'm sure, feel 100% at home.
Boomie switches it back to the hammer, tries to hot step the side sig, but it's got a little bit more range than I think Boomie was ready for. Gets past the ground pound, turns it around with a side air, but Boomie's gonna take the first stock off of Eggsoup.
And did you see Boomie's movement on the way he recovered back? He completely stopped his momentum in the air so that he wouldn't get hit by the spike ball. He was able to get back. He saved his dodge. Then he ran into an unarmed down signature, but that's okay.
To unarmed?
His movement before that was impeccable.
Yeah, we'll ignore that. They're back to even stocks. Boomie on the Katars off stage. Eggsoup wanting that ground pound, but Boomie's able to block it with those nairs. Going for a lot of these Katar nairs off stage as he gravity cancels side life into the nair from Eggsoup. Ground pound. Boomie, he seems to have infinite jumps right now.
I don't know how he keeps track of them all because I lose count of them. And Egg is going to continue the aggression, take him out with that ground pound, give himself a healthy lead. It looked like Boomie was just moving around comfortably, gets the stomp into the hammer recovery.
And
that's
he was
not
trying to
something
finish
you
off
don't
with a
see
ground
that.
pound.
You don't see that every day.
I mean, usually you'll see it as part of the Russian Mafia, but he's able to use it off stage, which, I mean, we talked about how good the hammer recovery is off stage, a great reversal tool, and it's set up almost potentially for that ground pound for Boomie.
His movement to hit with that over around the corner. I cannot gush enough about Boomie's movement.
But Eggsoup going unarmed against Boomie's movements. Against that hammer play, he's picked up the gauntlets. And he's keeping that pressure going. That speed dodge nair into a recovery. Gravity cancel neutral sig picks up as well. He's just building up damage onto Boomie.
Yeah, but Boomie just got back-to-back downlight side airs.
And another one will finish it off. Boomie takes game 1 with that hammer play.
Those downlight side airs, that's like 30 damage every single time he hits one of those. And he just hit like 3. That's 90 damage right there. That's so huge.
That is some big swing on hammers from Boomie with those side airs. So I don't know if you have chat open, but immediately after that game, Eggsoup's like, "Can I join your clan?" And Boomie's like, "Okay." It's just like they're having fun. It's like if they were playing ranked and Boomie won the first game of ranked, and Eggsoup at the end of it is just like, "Hey, can I join your clan?" And Boomie's like, "All right, cool, yeah, let's be friends." So it works.
I think that's even on like Boomie's card, that even when he's losing, he's still having fun, which I would debate that sometimes. You've heard him when he gets heated. You've heard the things that he says. So I'm maybe gonna disagree with that. I'm not gonna say he's not having fun, but there are definitely times when he is a very unhappy individual when he's playing.
Nah, man, just get him to smile and it lights up a room, right, Sparky?
2, 1, brawl.
His smile can light up a room, and he can still be mad at stuff. Duke.
All right, well, Eggsoup, though, he's got a sword, and he's going to try to put the grumpy face on Boomie. As Boomie, he's got the Katars. Eggsoup is going to switch back to those gauntlets. Seems like he's really favoring these gauntlets in part because he can just force Boomie around the stage.
but Boomie can do the exact same thing with these guitars.
Ground pound clash.
Clash there. The
Ooh.
ground pound recovery doesn't clash, and Boomie picks up a neutral signature. And an on-stage ground pound, following that up with a recovery off the bounce. Downlight recovery gets the kill.
The downlight into the
corner.
recovery. Boomie, real strong guitar play. Seems like he's showing that not only is his hammer play strong, he's also got some solid guitar stuff. Eggsoup though, trying to catch him with that neutral light. Oh, Boomie slaps Egg off, can't quite get the dare, but he was looking for a quick kill onto the second stock of Eggsoup.
Egg has been throwing out those gauntlet ground pounds on stage more than I've seen anyone else use them effectively. And the clashes this game between the two.
They're just throwing hitboxes at each other, and it's working out. Eggsoup picks up the gauntlets. I'm not sure he even cared which one he picked up. Either way, the neutral light would have worked out for him. But Boomie's looking for the unarmed side air to finish off.
Ooh, charging up. Egg's gonna go over it.
Oh!
Oh, and Boomie's gonna turn it around with that hammer recovery. That's why you just don't edge guard a hammer. That move is so good.
I don't even know if Eggsoup was necessarily trying to just like edge guard. I think he just wanted that pressure. That's his standard follow-up off of that speed dodge nair, is to go for a ground pound, and Boomie recognizes it, turns it around with that immediate hammer recovery.
That move has so much priority. Big down signature from Boomie.
Nice interrupt.
Neutral light. You saw his movement. You saw those
Side
chase
sig.
dodges up and down. You saw him chase
like that,
dodge all the way to the
player
right,
one
turn
wins.
around, hit a side signature out of nowhere. He does those things that you don't expect. He does those things like, oh, there's no way he has the time. There's no way he has the movement. There's no way he has the frames to get away with the things that he does. And Boomie is going to take a 2-0 over Eggsoup.
Solid play from Boomie. I was not expecting this Sentinel, and I was not expecting it to be so effective, but he is showing that he has definitely been putting in the lab hours with that Sentinel. Takes down Pugsy as well as Eggsoup, and we'll continue on to await the winner of this next matchup. It's going to be LDZ versus Starlight. This is a match that we've seen a handful of times, haven't we?
We've seen this a lot of times. We've seen it go kind of both ways when they meet. At this point in the tournament, sometimes we've seen LDZ staying in the winner's bracket and Starlight going down below. Other times we've seen LDZ go down below and Starlight staying in the winner's bracket. But usually whenever they meet in the grand finals, I touched on it a little bit earlier, almost every single time Starlight will win the first best of 5 between the two of them. And then in a binary fashion, LDZ will flip that switch and he will take the second set of 5 like the first one never even happened.
So let me ask this: if Starlight wins this, if it's one game or even one set, do you think LDZ will stick with the Ragnar? Do you think he'll stick with his Ragnar and try to just like show like, hey, I've been practicing Ragnar, this is who I feel like playing? Or do you think he's gonna go to the mainstay that Cody picked, that he's had so much success with, that he won BCX with, that I mean he's been an absolute monster with? Do you think he'll switch back?
No, I'm gonna say he'll stick with Ragnar.
You think he's gonna stick with it?
I think he's lasered in on Ragnar. He wants to focus on Ragnar. No matter what happens, he's gonna stick with the Ragnar pick.
All right, well, let's throw up.
Katars are incredible right now. Wait,
Yeah.
whose graphic are we throwing up? What are we throwing up?
You pick one. They both got guitars.
Twilight first, Starlight first. I almost did it.
You goofed it.
I was
goofed
doing
it. You were doing
good.
so well.
I
I know
was
I
doing
already
so
goofed it
good.
earlier, but we're gonna be talking about Starlight real quick. The opponent of LDZ, Starlight, considered the antithesis of LDZ. A very strong player, very effective with the side air game. Not recently. He switched to a Surrey right before BCX and has been sticking with it since then. Has been an absolute monster with it. Took first place in 2v2s alongside Daiku and 7th place in 1v1s.
The picture's so stupid looking. That's my favorite thing in the world. Oh, that picture of him when him and Steve met. I think that was for Combo Breaker, I think.
Yeah.
Oh man, just the best picture on the planet. You're welcome, everybody, for taking that picture and turning it into what it is today.
I mean, it's definitely a popular pick, to the point where he's turned it into one of his emotes, the Star W. So if you're subscribed to him, you can drop the Star W in chat. But regardless, Starlight definitely a monster. He's got the Asuri. I don't think we'll be seeing his Bodvar at all throughout this tournament. But regardless, he does kind of have that in the back pocket if maybe he feels the situation arises. He's gotten first place. I mean, he got first place in 2v2 and BCX. He's gotten it in BCSs as well as some second place finishes in BCS. He got second place at final round and third place at Combo Breaker. He has quite a successful history in the tournament scene of Brawlhalla.
I'm curious as to how this Qatar mirror match is going to go, because one of the times we saw them play against one another, LDZ actually locked in Asuri at one point to try and do a full mirror match against Starlight.
Did he win?
No. LDZ did not win.
That's
LDZ
right. I think
did
Starlight,
not win.
Starlight handled him, but it was
Oh,
like the
yes,
first
he did.
set, and LDZ went on to win the second set. But regardless, let's throw it over to LDZ, and he's going to be playing that Ragnar. LDZ, winner of BCX, as we've said many a time. Got second place in 2v2s, has made quite a lot of money and quite a big name for himself. If at this point you don't know who LDZ is, just look at that top, the top part of that, and you'll know this guy is not someone to be trifled with.
And at one point last year, after a certain point, I'm trying to remember exactly what month it was. It was somewhere like midway through the year. Every single 1v1 tournament that he entered in, he didn't lose.
Yeah.
Like, and that wasn't just like the
yeah.
BCS weeklies. That included like gravy cancels before the BCS weeklies were a thing. That included every single 1v1 tournament that he entered after, like, it might have been like June or something like that. I can't even remember when it was, but it was some incredible, astounding statistic that you just couldn't beat him in a 1v1 tournament. He just took every single one. He was not good at 2v2s. Like, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna speak very frankly.
Gave him a lot of flack for his 2v2 play, but when he teamed up with Stevenator, that seemed to be the winning combination, as it was enough to get him second place in 2v2s at BCX. Since then, he's found a new partner in Boomie. But regardless, that is the two players that we're about to watch. It's gonna be LDZ versus Starlight. I'm gonna go ahead and give them the AOK. Neither of them have locked in yet, but more than likely we're gonna be seeing the Ragnar versus Asuri matchup. Any predictions?
I legitimately don't know. Just the way LDZ's been playing today, how close all of his games have been with the last time that these two played Qatars into one another. I think Starlight has a very, very good shot today. LDZ is just going through characters right now.
Okay.
And there's the Ragnar pick.
I was I mean, like, I had a strong inkling he was just goofing, but a part of me was like, what if? Just like, what if he just like actually played Cassidy, or like, what if he actually just played Val?
Stage banning coming through. LDZ leaving Great Hall on the table, and I'm not surprised that Starlight immediately jumped on that. We know he loves to ledge cancel. We know he loves to ledge cancel down lights. I don't think he's necessarily going to try to get away with that against LDZ, because LDZ's good. He's been playing melee. He knows all about DI before DI even existed in this game.
I think actually both of them came from Smash backgrounds, right? I think
Yes.
LDZ was a Smash 64, and Starlight was Smash Melee, like you're saying?
Maybe. All I remember was that his name used to be HMC 100.
All right. But regardless, we've got Qatar versus Qatars. Both of them trading relatively evenly.
I don't think we're going to see any big strings. I think it's going to be exactly what's happening right now, of one hit after another. It's going to be trades back and forth.
Trying to read the jump.
On stage, there are going to be a lot of nairs.
You think Nair's more than Sears?
Probably. Maybe once it starts getting closer to deep orange, deep red, then you're trying to force kill time. Nice read by Starlight. Great spacing. Oh, bonking his head, forcing LDZ under.
Trying to use that ledge cancel just to guarantee that he's got his jumps back up. Switching up to the axe. Starlight, though, he's got him off stage. Gets one dare. And LDZ can't get the touch. Starlight backs away, makes sure that he doesn't get caught by the nair to give LDZ the potential chase dodge back to the wall. And Starlight's going to take the lead. And LDZ immediately takes it back, or at least evens it up. And this is a very paced game.
You saw how safely Starlight played. Once he knew he had that kill, he's not going to risk it. He's going to respect LDZ there, and putting himself in any unnecessary danger could put him at a loss. He's putting some serious damage on LDZ, though. The clash there.
Off stage, LDZ tries to turn it around. Starlight is able to get back.
Ooh, LDZ trying to read the recover high with that neutral signature. Trying to go for another neutral signature.
He's looking for the kill options. Another neutral sig.
Third time's the charm.
And he's going to stick with the axe this time, recognizing that Starlight should be picking up a sword. There it is. It seems like LDZ wants to go axe to sword and then Qatar to Qatar. Throws it away. Qatar pick up. Trying to get underneath Starlight, but he knows that if he makes too risky of a play, trying to get on top of him, Starlight could even up the stocks. And there it is, the dare.
Great movement from Starlight, retreating to the side of the edge. LDZ moving over, then Starlight getting above him. Perfect timing on that, and then unleashing that dare to send LDZ down.
Starlight, I mean, you didn't see him throw out a lot of moves. He was just waiting for LDZ to miss position so that he could finish off the stock. Down, dare.
Going very low.
Another nair, dare. LDZ should be able to make it back, yep. But he took quite a bit of damage from Starlight off stage.
And even with all this work that Starlight is doing, the two of them are so even, and LDZ is going to slap him off of that wall. Shades of the way that he used to play Bow. And
I mean, he utilizes it essentially like the same move, trying to slap them off the wall. But this time with the Qatar Sair in particular, the lower parts of that hitbox will just spike straight down. So it's equally advantageous to just get on with the bottom of that Sair. But LDZ is going to take game one. We're going to go on to game two, and it's going to be Mammoth.
A much more straightforward stage coming out between these two. I think most of their games that they tend to play are on Mammoth. I'm not used to seeing Great Hall. Sometimes there's the occasional Shipwreck or the Twilight Grove, but usually, almost every time, it's just an entire set of 5 that's done on Mammoth.
I think generally Starlight's the one who will pick Great Hall if you give him the option, but it seems like he didn't quite like it for the last set, so he's going to switch it up, go to the Mammoth pick. LDZ is looking for these neutral sigs a little bit early. I don't think he's quite in kill range.
Now, Starlight is getting the longer strings than LDZ, but LDZ is just trading back and forth better. Just every single time, consistent one hit, the occasional 2 hit. Meanwhile, Starlight will get 3 to 5 hits every now and then.
But LDZ, now that he's looking for that kill option, you've seen him throw out quite a few signatures, the neutrals, the down, as well as the side. Will take down Starlight, but he did take a couple of moves to his face while he was trying to get that. I think Starlight caught him with a neutral light at the very least.
There's that footsie back and forth. We saw a lot of that from Multimum at BCX of just like staying far enough away from your opponent, moving left, moving right just a little bit. Am I going to go in? Am I not? And then using that side signature, it covers a huge range. Oh, he's waiting for the gimp.
Ground pound. He does have the wall touch, so it's going to take a lot more than just one ground pound.
His dodge is down. Now it's back.
The recovery connects onto Starlight, but he wasn't able to follow up off that bounce. Side air very close to taking down LDZ.
Went for the Nair turnaround recovery axe follow-up. That so many players do, and I get caught with all the time. Starlight's at least a little bit better than me. He's not going to fall for that.
I mean, just a little. I mean, like, I think there's what's the elo difference? Like 2?
It's something like it's like less than 14.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing. LDZ takes another stock off of Starlight. I'm not gonna say it, but you're thinking it.
Okay.
Oh,
no,
and it's done. Nope,
not thinking it anymore.
Nope. 3-stock dream is dead as Starlight takes it down with the dare. LDZ is gonna be able to come back, pick up the axe, and put in more damage on the Starlight.
Now my Starlight neutral light. Oh,
Dare. Ground pound.
He's going for what he tried earlier, where he gets the dare, forcing Starlight off stage, then the weapon toss, then falling over the ground pound. Didn't work this time. Gets the weapon toss. Oh,
Down light ground pound.
Canceled down light ground
Player 2
pound.
wins.
LDZ showing off-stage prowess, using
He
that
wanted
larger
that.
hitbox from the thrown axe that he couldn't hit consistently with the Katars. I love it when people unarmed down light ground pound. I absolutely love that. They did that earlier today in the EU. I can't remember who did it. Was it Effie?
Yes, I think it was Effie. But I mean, you saw LDZ was working for that kill onto Stevenator. Just fantastic play all around. I'm not sure if we're gonna go to that interview with Sheepy next. I think so. Yeah.
If this is after Winter Semis, it's scheduled for that. So I'm
think
gonna
so.
say we're
Yep.
throwing it over right
We're
about
gonna throw it
now.
over to the recording of White Sheepy interviewing Eggsoup, finishing up that second part of that interview. Take it away, White Sheepy and Egg.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is the Brawlhalla Winter Championship. I'm Winan, or better known as White Sheepy. I'm your host. And I'm here with Eggsoup. We're just continuing our interview from earlier. So, Eggsoup, I just have a few more questions for you. So, speaking about the tournament, any players you're excited or maybe even nervous to go up against, or any new players you may be keeping an eye out for?
I don't know. I just kind of want to play the game. I'm excited to compete again. I'm excited to be able to play. But yeah, there's some new threats out there. Like I said before, I've been training with Wrenched recently. He's pretty good at the game. And then we've also got Astro, or better known as Astronaut. He's good at the game too.
Yeah, they are definitely. I feel like, definitely from what I remember last season, they're definitely. We gotta keep an eye out for those guys. I like to hear that you just want to play the game, whether whoever you're against. It's just, hey man, I just want to play the game. It's just simple. It's perfect. It's great. So.
But if I couldn't not fight LDZ, that would be pretty good though.
Yeah, totally. I agree with you. I feel for you there. If I was in your position, I probably wouldn't really want to be up against LDZ, although you are definitely a much better player than I am. So, dude, I feel confident in you. I think you got this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, looking at the bracket since it's been released, do you have any predictions on who will advance to top 16 or maybe even just top 8?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't looked at the bracket yet.
That's okay. That's okay. We're doing this early.
I'm gonna hedge my bets. Put some names out there.
Yeah.
We got Yoni brother, also
Yeah.
known as Pugsy XD. We've got the Zack and Zack combo, Boomie and LDZ. Then we've got Mr. Twilight, my guy. And then I don't know what else is gonna happen. Hopefully I can be in top 8. Sometimes you just go out like a buster. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like those are kind of expected names. Let's see if we get someone else. Like I mentioned, Wrenched. I think Wrenched definitely has a good chance to get into top 8. Maybe Remy, maybe some Stevenator 546. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. No, definitely. You definitely named some very big name contenders up there. LDZ, Pugsy, Boomie. Of course, hopefully you get into the top 8 as well, of course. Definitely wishing you the best of luck for that as well. I also feel like we got, I think Noel is also someone I think we should definitely look out for as well. Definitely, like you said, new names like Wrench or Astro. I wouldn't say they're new names, but they're definitely players that have been definitely gaining some reputation. And I think
yeah,
I
and
definitely
never forget Cool Croc.
Yeah, that's right. So definitely we got to keep out for these guys. So I have one more question for you, and it's just for kicks. So the people at home can get to know you a little bit better. So what do you like to do in your free time, and what are your aspirations and future goals?
Like homework. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have that much free time because I have homework and then I want to play Brawlhalla, but then I gotta go to sleep. That's pretty much it.
Dude, That's the
I
struggle,
run
man.
a exciting life right now. But no, I don't know. My aspirations, I wanna be able to stream more because that's really fun. And I recently got partnered on Twitch. You can follow me at twitch.tv/EggsoupTV. That's some plug right there.
Yeah,
And
dude.
then, I don't know. I've been upping up my meme game. I think recently. It's not quite that good, but one day I will reach meme levels that
You get
one
that
has never
status.
seen before. I need that status.
You
the
get that meme
prestige.
status, that prestige of just the meme, just the guy, just everyone knows on the internet. You know, that's you. That's Eggsoup, man. That's my meme. That's what you want to go for.
Yeah.
Yo,
Okay, yeah.
that's a perfect, you know, goal. I mean, dude, go for it. I feel for you though on the struggle on like, hey, I just have like work and then I play maybe video games a little bit and then I gotta go to bed. So I feel for you on that. I feel like that's a struggle that many of us can relate in some way or form. But I definitely those who are tuning in, definitely check out Eggsoup. He does have a stream. Eggsoup, you wanna plug that in for me one more time just so that they can make sure that they can tune in and watch you?
Yeah, you can follow me on social media. It's Eggsoup TV everywhere. So that's Twitter. All right, that's number one. Then we got the Twitch, and then we got the YouTube. I've even got that one. I don't do
Nice.
anything with it, but you can follow me there too, so I can boost my ego.
Nice, dude. All right. Well, Eggsoup, thank you so much for just like hanging out and just like having a little interview with me. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure too. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, we're going to get back into the action with the Brawlhalla Winter Championship. Stay tuned, guys.
Hello and welcome back to the NA Winter Championship. This is the 1v1 side of things, and we are going to be going down to the lower bracket now. I'm just going to do a quick recap. It is currently the lower quarters, and this is going to be wait. Oh no, we're
Nope,
not.
we're doing
there.
winners finals
finals.
first.
I'm sorry, but I do want to catch up on the lower bracket real quick. Stevenator bursting through. He's waiting in lowers quarters. And then on the other side is Eggsoup and Noel. But before that, Boomie and LDZ. I think we've said a lot of things about them. So do you want to just get into it?
Absolutely. I'm sure everybody knows Boomie or LDZ, either from watching previous tournaments or watching anytime earlier today. Boomie's my guy. LDZ's my guy. Boomie plays Sentinel. If you need any more evidence that you should play Sentinel, the only tournament that Tybo has ever won, he played Sentinel.
That's your evidence, right? That's what you're gonna go
Yes,
with.
that character is a
is
free win. Tybo is
Tybo?
washed.
Who's Tybo?
Exactly.
All right, well, here we are. It's gonna be the winners finals. Boomie versus LDZ. Boomie on the Sentinel, LDZ on the Ragnar. It's basically Multimum fighting himself. It's just a repeat of the EU side of things as well. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be exciting. And here we go. It's gonna be game one of this best of 5. Boomie versus LDZ. Stomp neutral light. Ooh, gravity cancel sidelight. Interesting option.
And just more unanswered damage coming out from Boomie, the Nair.
Stomp side air.
Boomie makes
Trying to chase.
Hammer look like it doesn't have any recovery frames, like it is virtually impossible to punish.
I mean, it's has Boomie missed? Like, he's just been so precise with his hammer moves that LDZ really hasn't had a lot of punish opportunities. There's the first one, and LDZ is able to connect with a sidelight. But for the most part, Boomie's been very effective at hitting these hammer moves. Gravity cancel down sig will leave an open for that the neutral sig from LDZ.
Oh, and I don't think Boomie quite got the wall touch. He was moving around in there, just probably pixels away from it. He was using his fast fall to get in around. I think he already used his dodge.
Whoa.
And finally came back up on cooldown.
He's trying to bait.
Oh, LDZ might have some serious gimp opportunities here.
Boomie is able to push it off with that recovery. Goes down with that hammer. And instead of going for the recovery, he nairs him off of that little corner of Blackguard Keep. sends LDZ off the stage, and it's going to even up the stocks. So Boomie, he's already in the yellow, getting close to the orange.
That generous Nair hitbox sitting behind him. There's another Nair.
Which one? Which one?
The hammer Nair. Oh! LDZ, he's been getting better and better with those vertical weapon tosses. We saw him do horizontal weapon tosses all last year with bow and with sword. Now he's getting really good at those 45-degree angle and vertical weapon tosses.
I mean, we've seen how effective those weapon tosses can be at finishing off stocks, getting a nice double tap after you hit him with a move. But LDZ also showing his prowess with the guitars off stage, gets another side air. Boomie goes for a hard gravity cancel neutral stick to try to punish LDZ going on to him. Boomie's looking to finish the stock off, wants the signature kill.
Ooh, LDZ catching with the downlight off of the ground pound, following up with a recovery. Boomie was looking for the unarmed neutral signature read. Oh, misses the down signature. LDZ over spacing it, gets the
Recovery.
side signature, the recovery coming out from Boomie. He is in rough shape, but LDZ is on his last stock now. He's liking to stay with these guitars, possibly for the DPS. I think he's been having better luck with the hammer.
I have to agree. I think his hammer play has been far more effective, but at the end of the day, LDZ's neutral stick game has been incredible. He gets another neutral stick onto Boomie, takes him down, and is going to take game 1 in this best-of-5 set.
And in a game that I would have kind of predicted going Boomie's way a little bit, that's probably one of LDZ's least close games that we've seen him play today.
Yeah,
he was almost fresh on that last stock.
He had a pretty strong performance there. I'm not sure if it was just because Boomie was kind of trying to warm up his guitars, or if it's just been LDZ. He's just had so much practice in this matchup against Boomie. But once again, Boomie's on that hammer, and this is the weapon that I like to see him on. It's so effective when he can do the things that he wants to do.
Oh, LDZ has Boomie in rough territory here.
Nice recovery to turn it around. Wants a second one.
Oh, just barely
Did he not touch?
Missing. He didn't touch it.
Oh, I was watching Boomie. I was trying to see if Boomie was going to make it back to the island as the island was starting to move away, but it looks like LDZ might have overcommitted off stage. And Boomie's looking to get a second one. LDZ barely able to touch the wall with that dodge and turns around with that dare.
LDZ just looking so confident in his approaches. Overspacing when he needs to overspace, underspacing when he needs to underspace. Finding ways to get in on Boomie's guitars and hammer.
Boomie showing he's got some guitar stuff up his sleeve as well. Throws out the side stick. LDZ actually gets under him, dodges down to catch him with a nair.
Charging that bad boy up. LDZ sees it, lands. Boomie with the side signature. Boomie starting to throw those signatures out like candy. He's getting a little bit of punish. Some clashes coming out. Looking for that nair to kill LDZ off the top. Those nairs and snares.
Stomp. Oh, went for the side light instead of the Sair. I gotta believe the Sair would have killed.
Is he looking for the recovery? Kind of peek over that corner.
He's so close to those kills, so close to that Sair or the recovery. LDZ, though, gets the Sair, finishes off the stock of Boomie. He is in the red, so he's going to take this time to clear the board and try to just make it difficult for Boomie to get a big hit. Sair.
That's not going to kill. Those middle of the stage Sairs. Guitar Sair just really doesn't kill in the middle of the stage, especially if it bounces you off. And he's still struggling to take out LDZ's second stock.
Ooh.
Gets the almost point-blank ground pound. That's what I'm so glad. Go ahead.
Sorry, we saw him do that against Pugsy as well. The immediate quick dodge, speed dodge over, and go for that ground pound.
I'm so glad that guitar players are fully using ground pound now. A lot of them used to just only use dare, only use side air, but ground pound, I mean, it's one of Guitar's most damaging moves that isn't a signature.
I mean, it's also just a great kill option. It has that downward spike. As opposed to, the Sair, it's got a little bit of horizontal movement. The dare, it's also got a little bit of horizontal movement to it. Ground pound, quick and clean, takes down Boomie. Yep, second
LDZ
one.
with a second ground pound for good measure. I don't think Boomie was going to be able to get back But I don't think we've seen that many. No, actually, I take that back. We have seen Qatar ground pounds.
We've seen a
from
few.
LDZ's
Boomie
and
switches it up
Boomie.
though. You see that Hattori pick?
I wonder what is fueling this, because you and I both know that Boomie can be an impulsive person at times.
Yes.
I wonder where this is coming from. I definitely don't doubt his ability with sword, and I don't doubt his ability with spear, and I don't doubt his ability with Hattori. I'm just wondering what is fueling a character swap in general, and B, this Hattori character swap.
Right now, hopefully it's
That's
not
it.
Salt, because
That's
that is
it.
gonna be a salty situation. LDZ with a quick gimp, no damage done to him, and he's sticking with these Katara's potential for more. Boomie's gone under the stage multiple times now.
Who needs to be real careful?
Oh.
LDZ is going to take these trades.
Nair.
That Nair narrowly saving his life from a clash with that unarmed ground pound. Chain dodge trying to pick up the dare.
Stairs.
Gets the second dare.
He doesn't have the movement. Gravity cancel side sig to guarantee it. And LDZ, he's looking very healthy, to say the least.
Unless Boomie just like absolutely slows this down and really tries to just cheese LDZ out, I think there's real 3-stock potential here.
Oh,
Never mind.
denied. Oh, he gets back up. Nice recovery from LDZ. Boomie gave him room. He thought he was dead, so did we. But LDZ had a little bit more in the tank to get back up safely.
Even with that dare before the Sair, that's not going to kill. Did you see LDZ's movement
Turn around!
there? The
And
3-stock
Boomie's done!
is real!
3-stock LDZ!
You don't do 3-stocks in winners finals. That's not a thing that happens.
Nope. That was not supposed to happen in winners finals. LDZ just turning it on in game 3 of the winners finals, and that is going to be a quick 3-0 going the way of LDZ, and we are going to go down to the lower bracket to watch Eggsoup versus Noel.
No, we haven't actually seen Noel. I'm just gonna I don't know if we have a graphic for Noel or not. I would guess that we do.
We do.
We do.
Shout
I think
outs
it's
to
funny that
Noel.
you and me are directly addressing Creed
Yeah.
when
one
nobody
can
else
hear
can
him.
hear what he's saying.
No,
And we
we're talking to
probably-
production. Wink.
Yeah.
Like that's.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
He's the Wizard of Oz. But Noel, I mean, he's a guy who we haven't really had a moment to talk about, so I do want to take a moment to talk about Noel. Noel, he's had the most success in lands just in general because he is an ATL local, so he has more opportunities to go out to what is it, the Battle and Brew, I think is where a lot of those lands are held.
Yeah, also the Photo Fridays. I don't know if they've held any of
Photo
those
Fridays.
recently, but back when they did, he was a regular guest at those.
And he's had a lot of success. He got first place at Dragon Con. He got second place at the Rivalcade 2v2 Showdown. Third place in a 2v2 US BCS. He got 7th place in 2v2s at BCX, as well as 9th place in 1v1s. He's had a lot of success, and in particular, it's been with this Koji play. I don't know if things have changed for Noel. I mean, obviously, we saw LDZ has switched up his character picks as well as Boomie. Maybe Noel has too.
I have seen very, very little from him since then. I can't remember if he played in Brawl League Masters or not. He was top 8 in Brawl League Masters, and if I remember correctly, I believe he played Koji, but he was finished top 12 in BCX. He used to be Kingdom Esports, but was recently picked up by Flashpoint Esports. So they're a new esports organization foraying into the Brawlhalla scene. So congratulations to Noel on that. And he was one of those people that him and Blood Diamond both. You and I talked a lot about last season about like where they started versus where they ended. I think they showed the most like growth and progress as players, probably more than anybody else.
Absolutely. I think we almost beat it to death how much we were just impressed with their growth as players. Just the fact that, you know, back when they first started, they were barely top 16 placers. And then they put in the work. They played amongst themselves, specifically the Kingdom Esports guys. It was Burnt Pan and Compute alongside Blood Diamond and Noel. They would just practice amongst each other, and they were just growing together as a group. Now it seems like Noel's been picked up by Flashpoint. Hopefully he still keeps in touch with those guys and they still get to practice alongside each other, because it just seemed like one of those things where they just brought out more out of each other. They pushed each other to grow as players, and it was awesome to see Noel grow. And hopefully he's not done growing just yet. He hit a growth spurt, but there's still plenty more room for him. And he's going to be going up against Eggsoup in the lower bracket. And I think we've talked about Eggsoup before. Is there anything else you want to say about him?
I mean, we've been pushing Eggsoup hard. We already had the picture of him. Of course, we had the two-part interview.
Right.
So I think pretty much everybody, a lot of people out there are familiar with Eggsoup, or at least after today, know my man's story for sure.
Absolutely. He pimped out his social media. So if you forgot it, just check out Eggsoup TV at everywhere, I think was more or less the quote. But we are going to continue on. It's going to be Eggsoup versus Noel. I'm going to give them the A-OK. Character picks, what do you think?
Val and Koji. Val for Eggsoup, Koji for Noel.
Well, we're going to find out if that is the end result. I got to agree with you on the Val pick for Eggsoup. Noel, is it going to be the Koji?
He's thinking.
It's tough, man. It's a hard call on whether or not you want to stick with it. No,
okay.
It's the Asuri. I was expecting something different. It's the Asuri pick. What do you think of this matchup?
I think it's gonna be who knows the non-sword weapon better. I think it's gonna be about Eggs gauntlets into Noel's katars.
I think they both have really strong swords, though. Like, I know you want to say it's about gauntlets versus katars, but I think their swords are not something to be slept on. Generally speaking, Noel had more success with this. I don't know how much time he's had with this Asuri. It seemed like he was like level 50 something with it, and Eggsoup is dead, so you know that happens. But Noel, showing his prowess with those katars, gets the first stock.
Egg hasn't been touched on a second stock after throwing away his first one. Noel trepidatious about edge guarding. I don't blame him against Egg's gauntlets. You know that when he needs to, Egg can get those huge, just out of nowhere 0 to death gimps all of a sudden. He's done it before, and I'm sure he'll do it again.
I mean, going back to the US East regional qualifier, he got a huge gimp onto Pugsy to almost guarantee the win and to get his flight and hotel ticket. Eggsoup has the opportunity again. Noel was off stage. He is unarmed, but Eggsoup has to push him off stage again.
Ooh, nice backwards movement.
Going for another ground pound. He is going to be able to get to the wall, though. That side air. That was close. That sword was still active.
Great angle of trajectory on that coming from Noel. Just right. Almost looking at Egg. Oh, Noel! Never try to outpace it by moving down into the left or down into the right. Like, that's never gonna work. Because even if Egg pulls out of it, exactly what happened will happen. If they are a gauntlet player worth their salt, if you try to get above them, they will pick up with that nair.
Well, stock difference is still in Noel's favor. Eggsoup, he's back to the gauntlets. And he's going to try to do the exact same thing again. Another ground pound. Noel completely trying to disengage. And Eggsoup's already above him. Gets him with the dare, but Noel's back onto the stage. This is where he wants to be against Eggsoup's gauntlets. Those neutralites just stopping Eggsoup from getting too close. Another side air connects. Eggsoup goes high. He does get the wall touch, gets the nair, goes for another ground pound. Noel has the movement and gets to the outside, is safe again.
We've seen a lot of great movement out of the stage. A lot in Thunder Guard, a lot on Twilight Grove, and a lot on Mammoth as well. Nice footsie game coming from Noel. Outspacing everything from Egg. Oh, and he had the option to do an unarmed ground pound there. That's like the second or third time coming from Noel. I don't know if he's just nervous about going up against Egg. He might just be worried about Egg's superior movement.
I think it's literally Noel thinks he'll win out in the neutral, and so he doesn't want to even risk it. There's no reason to risk it when every time Eggsoup comes back on stage, he's catching him with a downlight side air and finishes it off just like that.
Player 1 wins.
Noel taking game 1, and we're immediately moving into game 2.
No character swaps on either side. Eggsoup, they're going back to Small Mammoth. Hopefully Eggsoup will get a slightly better start this time, but it is going to be game 2. Eggsoup versus Noel.
I think Eggsoup is the better player here. I think he has the option to throw away the first game, because the last game was very, very close, and Egg threw away a stock.
That's true, but I mean, all things considered, Eggsoup, I mean, it was close. It wasn't like Eggsoup, despite the fact that he threw away that stock, was able to get Noel down in the red. Noel's still he's still in the orange. They were trading relatively evenly.
Sidelights coming out of Noel. A lot of offstage play on the
Offstage
left.
play, the
big
dare.
down air. Egg able to
Eggsoup,
get back. Finally,
he's caught
Noel
by
is
the
gonna
ground
follow
pound.
that up with the unarmed ground pound. That's what we were looking for. Again, third time's the charm.
Great play from Noel to make sure that he burns a lot of Eggsoup's options. Caught him with one, threw the weapon down to burn the dodge, and gets the ground pound to finish it off. And Noel looking pretty in the orange.
2 downlights coming out of Noel. A third downlight coming out of Noel. A hot 33 damage all of a sudden. Sidelight into the recovery. We haven't seen that in a while, not since Dobrain exploited the heck out of that in Brawlhalla Masters. Oh, Noel bumped his head! That's gonna be the stock! What a waste of a lovely stock!
It's okay though. He wants to keep it even. He wants to keep things tense as he gets a nice neutral light into 2 sidelights with those Katars, keeping that pressure going, keeping that damage building up on top of Eggsoup.
Heavy footsie game coming out of Noel. Neutral light, chase dodge, sidelight not connecting, tried to majorly space that downlight.
With them in the red, Eggsoup able to avoid that dare. Looking for the sidelight. He's got to be looking for a kill. There's the side sig behind Noel's side sig. Great punish from Eggsoup.
Noel getting a little bit confident, just kind of throwing that side sig out there and holding it as long as he did. I guess he saw Egg throw a couple side signatures, just wake up side signatures out of the blue, and was hoping to get one of his own.
The neutralites from Eggsoup. Eggsoup looking for some sword stuff. Wants to hold on to this stock for as long as possible, but he's still going pretty aggressive. That side air sending him so far, even with that bounce off the stage. But Eggsoup immediately turns it around onto Noel. The clash comes out, and Noel's dead.
After his spot dodge and then the clash, that was absolutely 100% death for Noel.
Did you catch the damage?
I did not catch it before they immediately.
Difference.
Really?
11 damage difference between the two. Despite the fact that Eggsoup was on his second stock in deep red, it was 11 damage difference. And part of that is the quick gimp kill, and part of that is Noel just struggling to finish off these stocks for Eggsoup.
That's what happens when Eggsoup doesn't throw away his stock at the beginning of the game. Did you just see him go for that random gravity cancel downlight? I feel like that just never works. I feel like the nair or the side air or the recovery will usually have priority. He started that so far to the right.
I mean, there's an entire meta game around the starting weapon. It always starts in dead center, and Eggsoup must have been thinking that Noel was gonna go for, you know, like a recovery or something, and Eggsoup could punish, but instead Noel gets the sword, gets a downlight, neutral sig, and Eggsoup is dead!
Noel! Okay.
That was, yeah, I
was gonna be really frustrated
if Noel went down.
Yeah, if Noel died because of that without Eggsoup doing anything. There's the nice sidelight clash. I was hoping for at least like 4 more of those.
The gauntlets in Eggsoup's hands. We've seen him get gimps with it. I mean, it was very effective in game 2. A nice gravity cancel neutral sig will get him back on stage, but a second one will put him in position for a downlight neutral light from Noel.
He's trying to pick up Egg with that downline as Egg's hurtbox peeks just over the corner of that wall. Egg playing very high on that wall.
Side sig. And the recovery underneath is still not enough. He's looking for the gravity cancel downlight into another recovery onto Noel. There's the downlight recovery to finish it off. Eggsoup, though, he's reasonably far behind right now. He's getting close to that kill range.
And that's what we've talked about from Eggsoup in the past is sometimes when he doesn't get those, look at that movement. I'm going to immediately stop what I was saying. That's the movement from Eggsoup that other people just don't do as regularly, as consistently, and throughout tournaments like Eggsoup does.
I mean, it's not just that, but he does it like without thinking. A lot of people, they'll go for the 3 forwards and like the double forward in the back. But Eggsoup, he'll put in some angles in there just completely willy-nilly, just because he can. He knows he can. There's 2 up angle speed dodges from Eggsoup. He's constantly speed dodging every which way. It's very difficult to follow him.
It's second nature and muscle memory with him. He doesn't have to go, all right, I need a little bit of room to do this. I'm building up speed. Okay, now I'm going to momentum dodge, chase dodge, forward. Now I'm going to go. He just does it.
Absolutely. He just does it because he just practices it every other direction possible. And it's part of the reason why he was able to build up so much damage onto Noel. Noel is going to get the side air, but Eggsoup has been able to mitigate the damage difference.
Looking for those gravity cancel side light recoveries, or sorry, down light recoveries that he was doing a lot of work with earlier.
Eggsoup catches him with the side sig. A little bit of a bait there. You saw him double dodge out, and then Noel tried to double dodge to keep that pressure and positioning. Eggsoup immediately turned around, caught him with the side sig to even up the stocks. Ooh.
Did Noel just go for the neutral signature?
He went for the neutral sig, and I'm surprised to see the Egg Dare was able to stop it.
Look at the pursuance from Egg. Nice recovery. Looking for a second recovery. Side air misses. The nair misses.
Side sig thrown out. Noel spaces it out, punishes with the side light. Down light, gravity cancel, neutral, and Noel has taken down Eggsoup. We didn't see Noel in the upper bracket. I don't know who sent him into the lower bracket, but Noel has just been running through the lower bracket. I think, did he start in the lower bracket? No. Who took him down?
I'm looking at that right now.
Eggsoup did.
Eggsoup took him down, and this was the salty run back.
The hot run back.
With a 2-0. Sorry, that was a 2-1.
Very clean play from Noel. He ran through he ran through Compute, Remy, Cody Travis, Wrenched, and then finally Eggsoup. He's now in the lower semis awaiting our next matchup, Starlight versus Stevenator. Another former 2v2 team.
We're seeing Stevenator again. We mentioned it earlier after he lost his game in upper bracket to LDZ. We said we wouldn't be surprised if he made the monstrous losers bracket run all the way back. See, here we are in losers quarterfinals. Every game before this, Steve against Wilson, 2-0. Steve against Pugsy, 2-0. Steve against Crocky, 2-0. I mean, huge work coming out from Stevenator today.
I mean, like we said, he can get emotional, but sometimes the emotion swings the right way, and he gets super excited, super fired up to win out the set. But he's going to be going up against, once again, a former 2v2 teammate in the way of Starlight. I think oh, wait, have we done the Steve graphic?
I think yes, we have. Because they have the nicest family in A, and I'm actually going to refute that this time. I haven't met his family, so maybe they're a bunch of angels. But Effie and Lanz's family, or sorry, Lanz's family.
Yeah, they're brothers. Let's be.
Okay, that's true. Well, they came to NA one time.
No one heard what Creed said, so you're just saying
that's true. I'm just
like,
answering someone else.
You know what, I thought about it, and that's true. Lanz's family is in fact not NA, so subsequently Stevenator's family is apparently the nicest family NA, but Lanz's family is the nicest world.
True.
Stevenator, though, he's in here. He's playing the core. We talked about how he has a Val, he has a Bode Bar. He has amazing gauntlets when he played his Val. He had amazing hammer play when he played his Bode Bar. So core not too far off the mark in either regard. And he got second place in 2v2s, also a thing of note. And he's going to be going up against Starlight. And I think we've shown in the Starlight graphic a number of times, but y'all can
Absolutely
drop the Star W. You can drop the Star W if you want to, just saying.
I mean, everybody should always be doing that because it's an incredible emote.
I mean, it's definitely one of my favorites amongst the Brawlhalla community, to say the least. I'm gonna give them the AOK Stevenator. He's already locked in the core. He doesn't even care. He's not like, oh, you can counter pick me or whatever. And part of it's because he knows Starlight's gonna be going in with the Asuri.
Nothing surprising here. This core, no one else really plays core. It's Fats and Stevenator. Those are the only two people that play
Gobi
core.
says he does. All right, like I just like if Gobi's watching and he's gonna he's about to message you like, I got your back, Gobi. All right, my boy silly Gobi says he plays core sometimes.
I don't trust anything that Gobi says. Just on principle.
He's untrustworthy. But Stevenator, he's got the hammer in hand. No connection yet on either side, but that's just impeccable movement from both players to avoid the hitboxes getting thrown out. Stevenator starting to get caught by some of these stairs from Starlight. Ooh, double downlight.
Now, both of these players were sent into lower bracket by LDZ. Both of them were 2-0'd by LDZ. I would say that Steve's games were probably closer than Starlight's.
Ooh, you're gonna call it like that?
I'm gonna call it like that.
Well, we'll see if just the closeness to taking down LDZ is a solid enough metric, as Starlight is looking to take the first stock off of Steve. A nice downlight immediately as he gets on stage to help give him some forward movement and get away from Starlight. He's got the hammer in hand, but he's got to build up a little bit more damage before he can start looking for those kill combos, or he'll rush
Never
Mafia
mind!
and remind me that kills a little bit earlier than a stomp side air.
That's the second one. He's gotten 2 of those today, and for everything that we've seen, he has a 100% kill rate with the Russian Mafia.
I mean, he gets it like right when it ticks into that position, is right when it's in the kill range. Immediately he hits the stomp and gets the kill.
Nobody else hits those like he does.
Ooh,
And
dare,
Starlight
downlight
turning
dare!
around with the downlight dare, following Steve from the left to the right. Everywhere he goes, the downlight dare.
And despite the fact that Stevenator hit the big Russian Mafia, that was enough to even it up. Steve gets back. He's got the hammer in hand. Starlight this time is not quite in the range. Oh, but it's close. Oh, he's looking for the stomp. Oh, rollout onto Starlight. There it is. There it is.
He still has a 100% kill rate with the Russian Mafia.
What if he gets all 3 kills with this? Is he about to claim the name of the Russian Mafia and just say no, this is now the Stevenator Mafia?
Going back to Cold War relations, sorry Soviet Russia, we are just better than you.
I mean, it's going back to the space war as he keeps sending Starlight into space with those Russian Mafias. He's going to have to build up more damage before he can think about a third one. But at this point, do you think Starlight's ready for it? Do you think he's going to respect the downlights and maybe play a little bit more aerially to get away from it?
I mean, maybe. Downlight's still just a great move regardless. So if he touches the ground, look at the downlight dares again from Starlight. They're not leading to kills, but they are leading to some serious damage.
I mean, they're racking up the damage on top of Stevenator.
Every single downlight dare is like from 20 to 30 damage. And he's hit probably 6 or 7 of them.
I mean, he's hit quite a few, but I gotta point out he's in range.
He might have to finish with the Sair here. He's just gonna go with the downlight Sair.
Yeah, he
Still
knew
not
that he
gonna
didn't
kill,
quite get the stomp in position, but a nice weapon toss. He covered it. He hid the weapon toss behind his own hitbox, threw it straight up, and then ground pounded underneath. Starlight tried to avoid the ground pound by going under the stage, but the weapon toss was following right after, and it caught Starlight.
Stevenator in rare form today. I don't think I've ever seen him play better than he is playing today.
I mean, he's absolutely lights out playing like an absolute monster. The Russian Mafia consistency is absurd. That is not easy to hit. I know a lot of people can do it. I know a lot of people have taken it in the training room, and people are going to post on Reddit and be like, oh, no, it's easy. I do it all the time. But to do it in tournament, in top 8 against the player of Starlight's caliber, it's impressive. He's back to the gauntlets, trying to build up the damage onto Starlight. Starlight, though, with his guitar game, he's been so effective at just building up so much damage with these big strings onto Steve.
And it hasn't even been just big strings. Like, you've seen the downlight dare loops that he's gotten, but it's also just been consistent. Little hits here and now. 1 hit, 2 hits, 1 hit, 2 hit. Specifically this game, it's been 1 hit, 2 hits at a time. And with guitars, that's a slow way to build up damage, but it's a very consistent way, and he's gonna take that stock out from Stevenator just with his movement alone.
That was a risky play from Steve. He had the opportunity to touch the wall, but instead he wanted the ground pound on top of Starlight, wanted to try to take him down, and if he got it, he would have gotten back. But before I can continue talking about this, Starlight with the dare downlight loops is chasing Stevenator into the sky after that recovery.
And not only does Starlight have the stock lead, he has the health lead as well. Looking for that side signature. Ooh, Stevenator.
Nice. Waits out the dodge, gets the gravity cancel sidelight, which will lead into the recovery because Starlight didn't have his dodge, and Steve is able to take down the stock, but he's got so much damage on him due to those downlight dare loops.
Was that a gravity cancel, or it looked like a ledge cancel?
I mean, generally he'll go for the gravity cancel sidelight. Steve trying to go for some a little bit higher level hammer combos. We saw him go for the double downlight into the speed dodges there, not easy to hit. Just now you saw him go for the stomp into the weapon toss into what is generally a pickup downlight dare. He knows his hammer combos, but he's just not quite as effective with it as he's been with those Russian Mafias.
Starlight has this kill.
Oh!
The downlight dare, dare. And just like that, a game goes the way of Starlight. The game before that was completely in Stevenator's favor. But when he can't hit those Russian Mafias, and when he just gets steamrolled by Starlight's guitars, oh my goodness.
He needs to find a way to disengage off of those guitars, because Starlight has been so effective at keeping that pressure on with those guitars. I mean, not like we said, not just the dare downlights, but he's been just hitting just all sorts of stuff off stage, on stage, keeping this pressure on top of Stevenator, making it very difficult for Steve to get that damage build up to set up for the Russian Mafia kill.
3, 2, 1, brawl.
Going into game 3, tied 1-1. We are in lower bracket. If you lose this set, you are out of the tournament.
I mean, the winner of this goes on to fight Noel. The loser of this goes home with, I believe, 5th place. It's going to be Steve and Starlight. And right now, Steve is a little bit on the back foot. Nothing major, nothing that he can't come back from. But Starlight, he's got the weapon of choice. He's got the guitars.
Starlight is not giving Steve any space to outrange him at all. Staying completely on him at all times.
Steve trying to make some room for himself with that weapon toss. Gonna back up, go to those guitars, gets a nice nair and a follow-up side light, keeping the pressure on with us. Oh! The neutral light, and then the nice side sig sends Starlight off stage, but it's not quite enough to kill.
Big side of the weapon toss.
Set up again. Starlight this time recognizes it, goes completely to the other side of the stage.
He had enough time to get under before that those soft mittens from Core were able to fall.
Hey man, the gravity builds up quite quickly. Oh, the clash comes out and it works out in Starlight's favor. And Stevenator gets taken out, but Starlight is in the red, in kill range.
Oh, and Steve's playing the snowman because it's the Winter Championship. That's cute. Oh, and he gets a downlight recovery. That's not cute.
Opposite ends of the spectrum there. Stevenator switches back to the gauntlets. It seems like he wants to use the gauntlets as kind of that damage build-up weapon, and then the hammer is the big finisher whenever possible. Side air, neutral light. Wanted to chase with that down stick, but Starlight utilizing that soft platform to his advantage to get underneath and make sure that Steve can't quite ground pound him.
It's almost like they're just trading back and forth who is staying on who. When Starlight has guitars, he's staying on Steve. When Steve has gauntlets, he's staying on Starlight.
Another nair for him. Gets a recovery, chases after with that dare. He's building up damage, but he's not quite kill range. The Sair from Starlight sends Steve off. Does he have the movement? Nope. Another stock for Starlight.
He blew so much of his movement to keep aggressing onto Starlight. He could have dared down and touched the wall, reset his jumps, but he chose to recover high and get back on the stage. And Starlight was just waiting there with that Sair.
Steve, there's the Russian Mafia.
Oh my gosh!
Again.
How many
Again.
is that now? Is that
I think
5
that's
today?
4.
4 against Starlight, 5 today.
He's been so consistent with it. Gets another Russian Mafia onto Starlight. Just reminds him, hey, just in case you forgot, I can do this.
There is a weapon on the field. Stevenator is sticking with this hand. Big dare, big nair. For the follow-up nair.
There's a very intricate dance going on between Starlight and Stevenator right now. They are just barely dancing around each other's hitboxes. Stevenator gets caught by the downlight, gets a recovery, wanted the speed dodge dare, but he picks up a second one just in case. Keeping that pressure on, and Starlight's in range.
You can see, though, he's remaining on the ground just long enough to either refresh his jumps or to hit a downlight. That is it. The rest of the time, he is in the air.
Downlight side airs, Starlight's off stage and disarmed. Steve has the hammer. Stomp sidelight.
I don't think that would have knocked him up.
Starlight can't get back.
Air.
Player one
Stevenator
wins.
is going to be moving on, continuing the train that is this loser's bracket run.
Don't call it a loser's bracket. This is Stevenator's bracket at this point. He has made this run happen. Took down Starlight with a stomp sidelight. Not generally a kill combo, but there's just so much damage built up. And Stevenator, he's not done yet, but he is going up against Noel, another potential Asuri, and another potential opportunity for some Russian Mafias.
That among many of the other countless tools that Stevenator has in his toolkit. I'm so happy with Steve's gauntlets today. They've been great. They've been able to stick to people. I'm loving his hammer when it comes out. He was having a little bit of trouble just in the neutral game with hammer last game, but I'm going to just go ahead and forget all that, throw that out the window because of the way he's been able to hit Russian Mafias today. He's been able to position so well. He's been so mechanically strong in them. Fantastic play. I've never seen Stevenator play as well as he's playing today.
I think it's not even like his neutral game has been rough. I think there's a level of he's overthinking his combos. Like I said, he understands that there are these potential combos with hammer. Like I said, the stomp into the weapon toss into whatever. He's got the potential stomp into gravity cancel stomp into a speed dodge Sair, follow up with a speed dodge I think it's just you can just do a raw neutral line afterwards. There's a lot of potential combos that he knows of. Maybe a little bit of execution error. I'd like to see him kind of just rein it in, go for the standard stuff, the stomp sidelights, stomp Sairs, just build up that consistent damage, and then when it's time, explode out with that Russian Mafia, because he has hit a 100%. He's hit all of them. Like he has the best batting average if Russian Mafias was a batting thing.
And
Baseball.
he hasn't even really had to rely on the true combos that Core has with his signatures. You saw him do them In the first match, I think it was just the first match in the first set against LDZ, but other than that, he hasn't really needed to rely on them. You can do it with in-sig, you can do it with side-sig, you can do it with down-sig. I'd actually maybe like to see a little bit more of that, just the downlight into the neutral signature, because that one's pretty consistent, and that'll give you 36 damage. 8 from the downlight, 28 from the neutral signature. I'd like to see him do that maybe a little bit more. With the consistency that he's hitting downlights, I would like to see that. Whereas Sayer is only going to give you 20 compared to the neutral 628.
It comes down to positioning decisions. Does he want to send his opponent upward, or does he want to try to send them off stage, where he might be able to follow up with a weapon toss or something else of that sort? It's kind of just whatever his flavor of the moment is. But we are going to be getting into it. It's going to be Stevenator versus Noel. This is going to be game 1 of the lower semis. It's going to be a best of 3, and it's going to be Core versus Asuri. Mammoth?
Probably Mammoth.
Mammoth?
Probably Mammoth.
Mammoth?
Both of them have similar defense, especially with the stance that Stevenator's chosen. So I don't think Shipwreck's not going to benefit one or the other. I don't think stage picks necessarily benefit one or the other. If I was Noel,
don't think Ship would be bad for Steve, because I mean it's more horizontal space for the Russian Mafia if that's what he's looking for.
So you're saying Shipwreck would be bad for Steve?
I said it wouldn't be bad.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say similar thing, but for a different reason. Just because it has those smaller walls, don't edge guard a hammer. Also, gauntlets are incredible in an edge guard situation, so maybe not that one.
3, 2, 1.
But we are ended up going to Mammoth, just the standard. It's the standard map. It's my favorite map.
It's a popular pick, especially in NA. I'm saying to the point where if you look at the fantasy questions, one of them is how many times do you think Mammoth is going to get picked? And I think more than a few people were like, it's going to get picked a lot. But regardless, here it is. Mammoth, game 1, lower semis, Stevenator versus Noel. And Steve going in with the gauntlets, building up that damage already on the Noel. Nice ground pound. Weapon tosses up, covers the wall. But Noel far and away from it.
You saw Noel do those weapon tosses just a second ago in his set against Eggsoup as well. I will probably see more from both of them.
Stomp into the side sig. I think he was listening. I think he heard you say, okay, you're right. Stomp can combo into a lot of the core signature kit.
That's my guy Steve waiting for the callouts. That's because we play Rainbow Six together.
Murder hole, flashbang, barbed wire, smoke. I think that's the extent of my Rainbow
Barbed wire,
Six knowledge.
flashbang, and smoke aren't really callouts, but like you're trying. So you're trying.
There's barbed wire in the room. Side air. Not quite enough. Ground pound's gonna come out. Noel just outside of it. Does not hold right, just in case Stevenator goes for that ground pound.
He was just enough into the push-off column. Steve chose to maintain kind of stage control and stay right on the top of that edge instead of going back on the main platform and either stripping the field or just picking up a weapon and using the rest as a trap. But the down air, I'm surprised that down air killed. That wasn't very high. It was just about the
I mean, it was soft platform height. Yep. But there's also a lot of damage built up on Noel, and a lot of damage back on Steve as Noel gets the offstage gravity cancel neutral sig, evens it up, clears the board, sticks with the guitars, and tries to build up more damage.
We've seen 2 neutral signatures from Noel so far. The last one got caught with a dare by Eggsoup. That one hit. And that's kind of...
Ooh. Dare into a speed dodge dare, trying to keep that pressure going. Another neutral light off stage, weapon toss to interrupt the gravity cancel neutral.
And he picks the weapon back up.
Ground
Saw
pound.
that one coming that time.
Noel has no dodge. Oh, it's back up now. Clash. Noel is dead.
Great edge guarding from Steve. Just maintaining a really, really safe position on the right side and then continuing that over to the left side.
I mean, also recognizing that Noel is looking for that gravity cancel neutral sig, punishing it every single time after the first one, and it took down the stocks of Noel. Noel
taking some serious damage. Steve at a stock advantage and a health advantage.
Ooh, that's
That
close.
side signature narrowly missing. I bet that would have killed. With how long he charged that, I bet that would have just killed.
I think that that skimmed Noel's whiskers a little bit. But regardless, Steve can kind of make some risky plays if he wants to. If he really wants to go back to the hammer and look for a Russian Mafia to finish off this game, he's got the opportunity because he had the stock advantage, but he's still got the health advantage, to say the least.
Went for the downlight. Noel was just in front of it.
Looking for that pivot dare, looking for a stomp. He knows Noel is basically in kill range. Double,
Back to back.
double recovery.
Recoveries. That's like 40-ish damage right there. That's big. You see Noel, his movement is very quick and rapid, but engagements are much slower, and that dare, a little bit above the soft platform, is going to take Noel off the top.
That's a 2 damage difference between the two.
How is that even a little bit possible?
488 to 490. That was a lot closer than I thought. Stevenator was looking really strong. But I mean, part of it's the stats, right? Core does have quite a bit more defense. I know he took 1 off of it, but it's still, he's got a slight defense advantage over the Asuri.
But he had an entire stock to go. He was deep in the red on his second stock. Was that just damage inefficiency from Noel?
Perhaps. I can't quite
Or
remember
maybe just
how long
damage
Steve extended that
efficiency
first
from
stock.
Steve.
I mean, 500 damage is close to like extremely efficient. Like anything below that, and you're like, okay, wow. But I mean, 500 is right about the mark where you want to be. So
Yeah, it's a little over 170 per stock.
right. Regardless, Steve back in it. Not quite as efficient this time in game 2 as Noel with these Katars. Has been able to put out the pressure onto Steve, but Steve immediately stomp into dare.
I'm glad that he went for the dare there because he was stacked with Noel. He didn't try the just standard flowchart downlight side air.
I mean, I think Steve's stomp follow-ups are anything but flowcharty. But he's sticking with these gauntlets. Wants a little bit more damage onto Noel, but Noel able to space out the nair, gets a nice downlight side air. Steve should be able to make it back safely with the help of that weapon toss. Nice side air from Noel, will take down Steve.
Choosing to strip the field, stay with this sword. Ooh, gets a nice neutral sig out of nowhere. Double downlight into the recovery. That is huge damage.
I mean, it's basically given Noel even damage with a stock advantage. Stevenator needs to be thinking about how to finish off this stock of Noel now. Falling there from Steve, wants to follow up. There's a side air, can't quite get the weapon toss. Does get the hammer and actually goes deep, so he can try to pick up that recovery onto Noel.
He didn't even try to land on that platform to refresh his jumps. He fast fell straight through it. He's gonna go for a dare. Oh no, he's just gonna try and momentum dodge or speed dodge back on the main platform.
Steve trying to throw everything onto Noel. Noel, just great patience, waits for Steve to overcommit to the edge guard and gets back up safely. Stomp side air. Not enough.
That's his dodge though.
Oh, the gauntlet toss. The soft platform helping out Noel a little bit. I'm not sure if the gauntlet toss would have killed, but it definitely would have covered an option, and Noel gets up above Stevenator, finishes off with a ground pound. Nice side air, will finish off that stock. The dinosaur comes out and guarantees the kill, but Noel, he's got a full stock lead over Steve right now.
And a very different story than we saw last game. Last game was kill efficiency out the wazoo coming from Stevenator. This game, he's having a little bit of trouble. It took an unarmed side air from the middle of the stage to take out Noel.
I think he's not quite used to this pacing of Noel. Noel's really just decided he's going to keep this game a little bit slower, make it difficult for Steve to finish off these stocks, extend his own stocks for as long as possible, and just whittle away at Stevenator. Nair wants to chase. You see Steve when he gets that Nair.
Nice read on that side signature.
But like I was saying, when you see Steve, he'll get like a stomp dare or a stomp nair. He immediately jumps and recovers to try to get in position as quickly as possible. It's a little bit risky because it burns the recovery, but at the end of the day, if he can get that pressure and keep that damage going, it's absolutely worth it. The weapon tosses.
And
Steve's play.
Still going. The gravity cancel downlights, and that
Oh.
is going to spell disaster for him.
Player
Noel is
2
going to
wins.
tie up this set. And Stevenator, if he would have just been a little bit more careful, he had all but evened up that last stock.
That was some impressive play. A huge commitment from Stevenator. If he had gotten that downlight, I want to believe it would have been a potential kill opportunity there. But great play from Noel to get around it and get back up, even it up. It's going to be 1-1 as we go into game 3 of the lower semis. Stevenator versus Noel. Map's about to be banned out. What
Nothing
map do you
banned on the
think-
board yet. I would say
what
just
do you
go to
think they should
Small
go to?
Mammoth again.
You think so? I gotta agree with you. I think Mammoth. It's a map that they're very familiar with. It's a map that I think they just prefer. And there it is.
Banning all the strange maps out that have kind of a little twist to them. And yep, we're going back to Mammoth Fortress. How many times did you say Mammoth Fortress was going to be picked?
Not enough.
3, 2,
I was closer on the EU side, but I think on the NA side, I said something close to like 8. But I mean, I think we're far past that at this point. Oh no, I said 13. We got plenty of time to go. We're good. I know NA apparently. I might pick all level 10 places. There's the double
He
shot.
tried.
You saw him go
He
for
tried
it.
for it. Now Steve is just swinging. It's one side there. It's the weapon toss. No real follow-up yet, though. He might have been expecting Noel to play high on that wall. Might have been able to catch a stomp right over the corner.
Nice dare pick up. Another dare pick up.
Second dare. I think that one picked up just behind him as Noel was going down with that ground pound.
The first one did too. Roll out, puts him in a great spot apparently as he gets the recovery onto Noel, and Noel can't touch the wall. First stock taken by Stevenator. I thought that was a risky rollout, to be completely honest. I thought he was gonna get stuck in recovery frames, but apparently it was just a hot setup. That's something that you used to see Milo do with his Nash, where he would down sig off the stage with that hammer and then follow up with a hammer recovery. Steve doing a similar setup with his rollout.
Ooh, and Steve not choosing to go in on Noel, even though his dodge was down from doing the gravity cancel neutral sig.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's still Katars, and we know Katars can be very effective off stage. Noel, he's had variable success with those Katars, but I think Steve just kind of respecting the Katar play from Noel. Ground pound comes out. Immediately throws away the hammer, but he's sticking around, keeping present.
He still has stage control. The second that weapon spawned, he still had the ability to go get to that before Noel was able to. Throwing that hammer down, that just gave him kind of an option. If it hit, he was able to do something with it, but he's going to take Noel off the top again with a recovery.
The nair and then the speed dodge recovery. Wait, does a second recovery. Takes down another stock off of Noel, and he's not done yet, keeping the pressure going with this hammer. But Noel, he's got a gravity cancel downlight into the recovery, unarmed, form zone.
And now we're pretty much seeing the exact opposite of last game. I don't think the 3-stock dream is there, just like I didn't think it was last game. Noel getting deeper into that orange.
There it is. But Steve, he's back, fresh stock. Not going to get sent flying by any hits from Noel. But he's got the hammer in hand as well. He's got to build up a little bit more damage before we can start thinking about kill combos. But that gives him time to go for the, you know, stomp weapon toss combo.
Sidelight, neutral light, turnaround dare, sidelight, neutral light from Noel. Not quite the downlight dare loops that we were seeing from Starlight earlier, but still some serious damage. Some great waiting out for Steve's dodge so you can punish while it's on that 3
Russian Mafia!
second air cooldown, and there's another
I didn't think he was in
Russian
range.
Mafia.
I didn't think he was in range. That is efficiency in its finest. Stevenator hits one more Russian Mafia and continues on. He's going to now fight against Boomie. And Steve is storming through these brackets.
And now we're seeing that legend diversity that we mentioned from Boomie coming into play earlier. I don't know why he's not playing maybe a Lance character. I know he's played Lance characters in the past to specifically counter gauntlets. The downlight on Lance is such a great damage building tool. And it's kind of an emergency, like, oh, they're in my grill, I'm going to throw out a downlight. Comes out very, very quickly. But he's going to go with this Bodvar pick.
But before we talk about that, we got to talk about someplace else you might be able to see these guys because, I mean, there's more than just this tournament. This is just the start of a bigger series, the Brawlhalla Circuit. Tell them to wait. So first on the docket, CEO, the LAN tournament in Florida, Orlando, Florida. It is going to be towards the latter stages of April, I believe. And you can see both of these guys. I believe both Boomie and Stevenator are registered. I know Pugsy is, Dobrin and Daiku are. Everybody keeps telling LDZ to sign up. We saw Starlight a little while ago. He's signed up as well. Zaloxery is signed up. You have potential to see all of these guys at CEO Dreamland in April. It's apparently the second week of April, 14th through 16th.
Yeah, 14th through 16th.
Okay.
And you could come see me, your guy.
Your guy, as well as me, a guy, at CEO Dreamland. It's going to be awesome. If you pre-register early, you get the opportunity to get the CEO Dreamland avatar, which has yet to be revealed. So it's very exciting. It's very exclusive. And only a few people are going to get it. So take the opportunity to do that, as well as sign up for Combo Breaker, which is going to be in Illinois, which once again, you have the potential to see Stevenator and Boomie. They're going to be there alongside Zaloxery. It is going to be in May at the something Illinois.
Did you just say Illinois? Did you
Illinois?
Did you just pronounce the S in Illinois?
I don't know. Do you want to make noise for Illinois? Am I right, Phil? Is the mega center of Illinois. It's going to be May 26th through 28th. At the Mega Center in Illinois. Combo Breaker. Check it out. Sign up. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a LAN. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. All right.
I still can't get over that you just said Illinois. Like, that's not okay.
If Steve loses, I take full responsibility.
That's his state, man.
I just disrespected his state so hard by putting the noise in Illinois.
It's Boomie's state too.
Boomie's
both
not salty about it. He's not like yelling at me in chat. All right. But regardless, Stevenator and Boomie, let's get into it. It's gonna be game one of the lower finals, a best of 5 set between Stevenator and Boomie. Hammers on both sides, potential on all sides. I'm gonna go ahead and give them the A-OK.
Boomie's been waiting here for a while after his previous set of getting 3-0'd by LDZ. The winner of this set will move up into the grand finals to fight against LDZ in a best of 5 set. If they win that best of 5 set, they'll be moving on to reset that bracket, get another best of 5 set. That's a lot of games to play against LDZ. This is a lot of games to play in a row after the very long tournament that we've had today, because we've had so many people enter, which is fantastic. We used to have 128 people entering the tournament. We have thousands now. Shouts out to the community.
Oh, he did it! Oh, he didn't quite get the finisher, but Steve, he got the double down line speed dodge, Sarah stomp followed up, couldn't quite get the sig, but regardless, I mean, pat himself on the back, check that off of his bingo card, as Steve got the hammer combo that he's been looking for.
Stevenator's got the hammer tech. He has got the hammer tech. Cody Travis got the gun tech. I know Boomie's got gun tech too. Stevenator's got hammer tech.
I mean, that's some tech to be proud of, for sure. He's got the gauntlets as well. He's going to try to build up some more damage onto Boomie. I think all of Boomie's damage right now is that one hammer combo.
Boomie just
One
beating
recovery.
almost everything that Stevenator has. He's not even having to dodge through or use iframe approaches on those guitars.
Down sig.
He's just beating everything with frames. But that time, Stevenator just had that huge AoE from the down signature. You know the hitbox from Sentinel Qatar down sig. It's a gigantic hitbox. It has some lingering frames in there as well. Oh, Boomie might be in trouble here.
Steve disrespecting the recovery. Boomie's dead. And Steve with a quick gimp. And you keep saying, don't edge guard hammer. Steve's saying, I do what I want. Catch me outside. How about that? Steve gets taken down. Stocks evened up. It's okay.
You said a current meme. I'm so proud of you.
You're welcome. Do I need to like throw some salt on stream next? Is that gonna help?
I'm so proud of you.
Does that
You
make
said
me hip?
something that's like on Twitter, and I'm so happy.
Am I in yet with the kids?
Not quite yet. You'll get there though with the 14-year-olds.
One of these days, man.
Oh, the
a
down
nice gravity cancel downlight into the nail, like you were saying. Damage is relatively even though, but that could be in Steve's favor as he's been so effective at hitting these Russian mafias. Spaces out the side sig. Uh-oh. And he's done.
Boomie's just waiting for it.
Just
He
waits.
turns around. Cool guys don't look at T-Rexes. And that
Or
game was like
no
2.5.
explosions.
That game was like 2.5 minutes long.
I mean, that was quick. You saw some of those big combos come out, the big gimp, but Boomie just, he didn't care about it. He shook off all of those big things that Steve was doing and closed it out. And we're on to game 2, Boomie versus Stevenator, sticking with the same characters. Steve, I mean, he's got the hammer tech, but is that enough?
It might not be because Boomie has hammer tech as well.
I mean, he's showing it. Uh-oh. He's also got...
Okay, he's got the
bait
dodge.
tech, the
Oh.
gauntlet toss. Steve's done that so many times. He throws the gauntlets up, gets a ground pound, drops the book on Boomie, says, you just got red, son. Steve is starting to pop up. I think he is very much in his zone right now, and this is exactly where he should live.
It's interesting though because we didn't really see him do that until his game against Starlight. That was like the only time we saw it. We didn't see that at all in the game against LDZ, and you know both of them spent a lot of time on the side.
Yeah, you gotta keep some of that tech hidden, man. As you get into the later parts of the tournament, that's when you start bringing it out. Boomie really wants this neutral sig kill. There's a side sig thrown out. Steve. I thought he was gonna fall into that for a second.
I thought he was gonna counter it with a dare.
Oh, picks up the recovery, takes down Stevenator. A reasonable amount of damage built up onto Boomie. Stevenator has no weapon to pick up though, but I think Stevenator's had some of the strongest unarmed for a while now.
I mean, he was kind of the one that once it got nerfed, like kept using it.
Right.
Kept using it as a reasonable, like, strategic move, not just, oh, I'm waiting for a weapon to spawn, or, oh, he's gonna sit there and Qatar neutral light until I walk over there.
And it's usually bigger than just like a neutral light or a side light to give himself room. He'll go for some big strings with that unarmed play. But regardless, he's got the hammer in hand. Boomie is in that Russian Mafia range, but Stevenator knows not to be too predictable with it as he gets a side light, sending Boomie off stage, but can't quite finish as Boomie gets the dare to take down Steve.
Boomie going up a little bit on Stevenator right now. Just a frog's hair worth of lead right now as he is getting deeper and deeper into that red.
Side
On
sig.
stage, ground pound is going to be immediately countered by Stevenator's side sig.
And the stocks have been evened up. Boomie waits, and Steve just completely disengages to let Boomie pick up that hammer. Didn't want to try to stand there and pick up the neutral lights. Instead, he's going to get the side airs into the neutral light onto Boomie. Side air, weapon toss. Boomie just swinging with these guitars, falling nairs onto Stevenator.
That dare just barely sending him off screen.
Both of them have the hammer. Who's gonna hit it? Boomie hits the down 6, sends Stevenator away. Oh, the dare from Steve.
Further off screen, two of my
Another
favorite
dare.
hammer players. Another dare. Oh. The slap coming out of Boomie.
Stomp side air from
not enough
Boomie.
to kill just yet. The core defense holding on. The side air barely missing.
Oh, the clash saves.
Oh, the clash held him in.
Stomp side air, that'll do it.
Downlight side air.
Player one wins.
And that is game 2 going the way of Boomie. That was an incredibly close set, or a close game, as we go into the game 3. This is the last opportunity for Stevenator. Can he do it? Can he get the reverse 3-0 in this losers finals? We're gonna find out in just a little bit. Steve's sticking with the core.
And in order to kill Stevenator, Boomie had to do almost 200 more damage. I think it was like 183 more damage to take out Stevenator.
And it looks like Steve just he's done with Mammoth. With a Mammoth, he's gotten enough for his fantasy points, so he's done picking it as he switches it up to Twilight Grove.
Like goes with the chase dodge, then the jump, no follow-up.
Nice weapon toss to punish, get a little bit of damage on Boomie for doing that side 6. Stevenator backs up, picks up the hammer. Looking for some sort of kill combo. There's the stomp dare. Not quite enough. Side 6 from Boomie will be. Takes down Stevenator's first stock. There's a solid lead for Boomie right now. And it's been a lot of guitar play, really. I mean, earlier on, we saw a lot of hammer play from Boomie, but it seems like Boomie kind of wants to warm up the guitars in order to get ready for LDZ, who's going to be playing that rag game.
Oh, nice dare
will
pick
kill
up from Stevenator. Dare on hammer is such a good defensive option. Like, you have the neutral light defensive option on the ground. Oh, look at that.
Couldn't
Stevenator
quite keep
continuing
it
it. The side light doesn't get the gravity cancel side light. Gets the down light. Side light. Spot dodge, no follow-up.
Steve's in the kill range. The down 6 sends him to the island. And Boomie was trying to follow up. You saw him swinging with a nair and Sarah couldn't quite connect. Now Steve, he's got the hammer, but he gets caught by the stomp dare from Boomie. Boomie's looking to close this game out.
Who gravity cancels a sentinel down 6? Like, who just does that?
Boomie, who also gravity cancels stomps in just goofy places.
Oh,
Recovery.
right into that recovery, almost killing. Sentinel defense holding on. Nice downlight. Downlight near downlight. There's another nair. There's another nair. Gets hit by a weapon toss. There's a downlight. Looking to follow up with that recovery. He's getting Steve closer and closer. Steve hasn't been able to hit any kill moves.
Steve is just taking so much damage, trying to finish off this final stock. Closes out, or the second stock, gets the recovery. But Steve, he's got to play the stock basically perfectly right now. He's got the gauntlets, which has been his damage building move. But if Boomie gets these guitars, it's going to be very troublesome. There's the pickup. Oh, Steve disarms himself.
Steve very much in kill percent now. Not sure if a dare that low will kill him. A nair very, very close.
Gravity
Another
cancel
gravity
down
cancel down
sig.
Who
Player
does that?
one wins.
Nobody else does that. How can you expect that coming?
I mean,
No one
that's the
else
thing.
does that.
Boomie, he's done so many aerials, right? So many nairs and sares trying to catch his opponent that when he throws out that gravity cancel down six, specifically in the opposite direction, it's gonna throw you off. You're expecting him to hit you with another aerial, and it caught Steve, takes him down. But I gotta commend Steve. Steve had an amazing showing through that lower bracket to get to the lower finals. He's going to be going home 3rd place, and Boomie is going to continue on to fight LDZ.
He's having to go back up to fight LDZ, who just 3-0'd him not too long ago. What do you do differently this time? Just, it seemed like Boomie wasn't even close to a match for LDZ before. His katars were getting outplayed. His hammer was getting outplayed. His sword, when he switched to Hattori, was getting outplayed. His spear was getting outplayed.
I really want to say that the Hattori was kind of a wash. Like his Sentinel,
Of course.
it was a lot stronger showing. It seemed like the Hattori was a little bit of a I'm just trying something to see what sticks, you know, throwing whatever I can at the wall. But Boomie, he's back to the Sentinel, and I think it helps him that he was able to warm up the guitars against Stevenator and really get a good groove with those guitars going into this set. It's going to be Boomie versus LDZ. Boomie's already he's saying I'm a 3-0 you twice. Like, get ready.
LDZ saying he put 5 games on his fantasy thing, so it's only gonna go to 5 games.
You think LDZ has that much control that he can say maybe throw 2 games and then go and win a quick 3-0 over Boomie?
I mean, maybe. This is LDZ, your 1v1 world champion, 2nd place 2v2 player at BCX. Almost undefeated in every single tournament he has entered since like May of last year.
Well, we're gonna see if Boomie can make the upset. But like you were saying, it's definitely in LDZ's favor. I think he's just been an absolute monster for a while now. But it is to Boomie's advantage that LDZ, he's playing a little bit of an off pick with this Ragnar. But I mean, I don't think he's been slouching at all on this Ragnar.
I was going to try and see what level his Ragnar was before this game started, but I looked down for even just a second to look at a paper in front of me.
I mean, we'll get to catch it after this game. I think it's reasonably high. Like, I think it's at least 25. But regardless, Boomie's playing real high. He's staying on the top platform. Wants LDZ to try to come up, and he's going to try to punish LDZ for going high. LDZ, though, off stage against Boomie, gets a nice side air. Boomie's completely disengages, goes to the outside. LDZ wants to fall down and try to get Boomie from underneath.
And as much as Boomie wanted to play down on the left, when he ended up going to the right, he just went back onto the stage and did a down sig. It didn't look like he wanted to engage in any offstage shenanigans. Ooh, very close. Narrowly missing,
Nice
but
side
hits
air.
the side air. That
Second
has
finish.
to be death for LDZ. He was in the red, hitting that low for sure.
Boomie gets a nice nair into a Sair onto LDZ. Starting to rack up that hammer damage, a neutralite onto him as well. LDZ does get the slap and the weapon toss to finish it off. Not too much damage built up. Boomie not able to gain too much momentum. But I just Boomie's hammer play is it's real. It's real good.
He's my favorite, man. He is my favorite hammer player. Him and Stevenator. I would just love to see like hammer ditto sets between the two.
I mean, we almost had that opportunity. LDZ getting the hits, but Boomie able to just take them to the face and continue on. Gets back up on the stage, and we're back to a neutral game.
If Boomie didn't hit that nair, he would have been dead 100% for sure.
Gets around.
Going back under. But LDZ's there. You see him chain dodging across the stage.
I mean, he wants to keep that pressure on him. Boomie gets the ground pound, and I mean, that's one of those spots where it's not the wall, it's not the push-off column, it's option 3, just really far out there, and Boomie connects.
Back-to-back neutral signatures from LDZ, both missing. The second one ends up getting punished.
Ground pound comes out
Another
from
ground
Boomie.
pound. Boomie's had so much good luck with ground
Ooh.
pounds today. The weapon toss into another ground pound. That recovery hitting just narrowly saving LDZ.
Sair will finish off the stock. Boomie, he was going for the quick gimp, wanted to end this game. but was not able to do so. LDZ just able to avoid the ground pounds and survive. Hang on. And get to the final stocks.
It is a side air fight right now. They are just trading side airs back and forth. LDZ doing the first nair in like 10 side airs.
And Boomie, the second they get back on stage, goes for 2 down lights into the recovery, switches it up, goes to the hammer with a Sair to finish it off, and Boomie takes game 1 over LDZ. Is this all part of his plan though?
I don't know. It might be. He couldn't even get the gravity cancel taunt frames to start before LDZ was dead, and it kind of froze on that screen.
What map do you think they're going to go to?
I'm going to say Twilight Grove.
Interesting pick. Why would you say that?
I don't know.
Yeah, just I'm feeling a little Twilighty today.
Because they didn't seem...
Nope. Just nope, you're wrong.
They didn't seem afraid of Great Hall, so I figured maybe another kind of weird map, but it looks like they're going back to Great Hall. I don't see necessarily map pick going the way of either player here. Even if they went to a place like King's Pass or Thunderguard, which has that big shenanigans area in the middle, it seems like they're both reasonably competent compared to the other in that shenanigans area. I'd give it maybe a little bit to Boomie just because he has the hammer option, which is a bigger hitbox compared to the X.
I think, yeah, like you're saying, they're both equally competent. I think it's just I guess this is just what they feel like playing. Maybe they've both hit their fantasy bracket amount of mammoth that they were looking for. But regardless, it's going to be Katars versus Katars again on Great Hall. Boomie needs to get 3 games to get the reset. LDZ just has to win 3 to close it out.
Both of them trading. LDZ taking a little bit the worst side of it. There's the neutral stick he was looking for before.
Ground pound. Can't quite follow up. He's got the hammer in hand, though. Stomp side air will finish off the stock for LDZ, and he's back to the guitars to try to build up damage. Just kidding. Hammer time.
Fantastic spot dodge there. Just leaving him right in the perfect spot to punish with that downlight side air.
Recognized that LDZ was going to be trying to approach onto him and just immediately spot dodged and got the quick kill. But he's got to be careful. If LDZ can finish off this stock, we're just back to a neutral game, and there it is. No weapons on the field. LDZ able to pick up the guitars. Boomie picks up his own set, and we're back to the slap fight.
Now we're back on the edge. I'm sure they're just waiting for cooldowns so they can keep nairing. There's the point blank ground pound we've seen from Boomie more than a few times today. Ooh,
that was close.
That one was very deep. He was almost dead on in his prediction of where LDZ was going to be, deep in the push-off column.
LDZ just barely able to fast fall outside of the hitbox. Boomie charges up this neutral stick, and LDZ wanted to punish.
That was the worst punishment
Neutral
in my
stick.
life. Why didn't he punish with a neutral signature?
I think he was worried that it wasn't going to reach quite far enough because Boomie, I mean, it moves his hitbox a little bit up and to the side. And so he was trying to punish the landing, but he charged it up a little early, and Boomie was able to react and jump out in time, not get caught by it. But LDZ is able to get the slap, the side air off stage, takes off the stock.
Some serious damage.
Downlight into the recovery again for Boomie.
Boomie hitting 2 downlights before that. I was worried he was going to keep downlighting, and those at that point, that's just wasted damage. He needs a kill move. He ended up picking it up with that recovery. He's not too worse for wear. We've seen how long he's been able to survive against LDZ, and he's just putting out more and more damage.
of them fishing for those nairs, trying to get hitbox to hitbox. Nice punish onto the neutral sig from LDZ. Another nair underneath. Damage is so even between the two.
They're getting very close to that Sair will kill you territory if it's off stage.
Boomie switching to the hammer, the thing that's going to have a heavy hitting Sair. LDZ switches to his own heavy hitting Sair weapon. But if Boomie spot dodges properly, we might see another stomp into the side air for the kill.
He almost had it. If LDZ didn't chain those dodges together, he would have gotten caught in that downline for sure.
Gravity cancel down sig.
Oh, and that'll do it.
LDZ with the weapon toss into the pickup side air will take the game. That is 1 each for LDZ and Boomie.
Oh no, Boomie, don't do this.
Oh, that's
Not
a
like
Ragnar
this,
pick.
Boomie. By God, don't do this.
Okay.
Same stance and everything. Oh no. I don't know if this is gonna go well or horrible.
I mean, he.
3,
I
2,
just-
1.
all right.
He has Katars. I'm trying to remember the last time I saw Boomie play Axe.
I mean, he's got a solid axe game.
I know he does a lot of the exhausted Axe recoveries.
Yeah.
I love those. I absolutely love those. He's one of the people who, pretty much one of the few who like actually uses that on the reg, and I always loved that he did that, just because it's such an interesting move and it covers so much area just where you are.
I mean, it's one of those kind of high risk plays because it requires burning 1 recovery as well as a second recovery. But it seems like he's just sticking with these Katars. Sends LDZ to the other side of the stage. Weapon toss doesn't connect with the ground pound will. LDZ gets back up safely. Boomie again with that deep ground pound. Not going to connect this time.
There's LDZ pulling just a little bit ahead. I'm okay with this Ragnar pick. It's not going anywhere near what the Hattori
downlighting the
looked
gravity
like.
canceled neutral heavy. Sorry, continue.
No, that was it. It's not going the way that the Hattori went, so I'm okay with this pick.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot closer to even. Trading back and forth with the Katars again, but Boomie, another ground pound falling there onto LDZ. LDZ does get back to the wall, just barely.
Almost. Boomie was 2 stacked with LDZ at that point. The hitbox starts a little bit ahead of you
Ground pound.
and moves you forward.
Would you like
There's
ground
another
pounds?
one.
Ground
How is he
pound?
still alive? That's another one.
And
How is he still alive?
what is going on? LDZ found the secret box under the map that gives you infinite jumps, apparently, as he makes it back safely despite taking 4 ground pounds to the head.
Unarmed side air is not even gonna kill. They're bouncing off the soft platform and then sending
Dare.
through. That dare is
That'll
finally
do
gonna
it.
kill. You're not gonna escape that one.
I mean, that was 4 spikes from Boomie onto LDZ, and LDZ still held on and was able to get some decent damage out onto Boomie.
Gravity cancel doing so much damage. Big slap. I can't believe that. How was he able to get past that side air from Boomie? That must have just been perfect timing.
I mean, if anyone's got impeccable timing, you got to believe in LDZ. There's a reason he's currently the #1 champ in Brawlhalla. But Boomie giving him a run for his money. Gets a nice dare on top of LDZ. But LDZ, he likes that neutral sig. Went for a second one, the gravity cancel neutral sig. Third one thrown out. Fourth one. And Boomie's going to say, I can do it
There's
too.
another one from Boomie.
Whose neutral sig is it going to be?
I don't know. Boomie's got that axe that has more kill options on stage. The side signature missing. There's
Another
another
neutral
neutral signature from LDZ.
Sair! Boomie takes game 2.
Player 1
Gives him the
wins.
salute. There is a possibility here that we get the reset.
he's staying with this Ragnar. I 100% agree with it. His Katars
I mean,
are solid. That survivability, especially with that defense stat, fantastic. He's doing work with the signature kit as well.
I think it's been closer with this Ragnar pick than with the Sentinel pick, so I believe in it. At first it was a little bit of a gut reaction, I think, on both of our parts to be like, Boomie, what's this Ragnar? But it's working. And here we go, game 4. Boomie's up 2-1. If he wins this, we get the reset and another best of 5 set for Boomie. Otherwise, LDZ has to win 2 in a row to stop that reset potential.
Boomie, Boomie, Boomie,
Oh!
Boomie!
That was, I mean, it was the usual offstage play, but he burned a little bit too much, wanted to disengage, go to the platform, but just couldn't quite get high enough to get on top.
You see him swinging that axe, though. He is coming back with a vengeance.
Starlight falling there. LDZ back to the neutral sigs, back to the down sig. Seems like that's his kind of edge guard. Boomie's able to slap him away. Not quite enough to kill the weapon toss. LDZ turns it around.
Oh! Point blank grab pound. Oh, he thought he was going to be a little bit more shallow, but Boomie didn't actually get the wall touch there. He was just right next to it. LDZ in very good territory.
Boomie following alongside LDZ. You saw him sticking right beside him, and the second LDZ dipped a little bit too low, he got the dare to finish off the first stock of LDZ, but he's still got 2 more to go. Boomie doesn't have the movement. He's done.
Player 2.
And that is a dead tie. 2-2 in this best of 5. If LDZ wins this, he gets all the fantasy points. I'm fine with this. Boomie's got a great Lucian.
I mean, he does have a great set of guns, and he's been doing work with these Katars, but
Boomie's
it's
got a
just
great
interesting
Lucian.
that he's rotating all of these characters right now.
That's what he can do. Boomie can play so many characters at such a high level. Watch his movement with this high movement speed Lucian, even in the stance, giving him 1 extra force, taking it away from movement. Watch his movement. This is how everybody should be moving. Not in my ranked games, because I want Elo, but in everyone else's ranked games.
I mean, LDZ did call it. He's going to win it. It's going to go to game 5, but he said he is going to just stop at game 5. Can he do it? Boomie on the Lucian wants to get the reset. He's throwing away his Katars. Picks up the guns, goes for the hard downlight, but he's able to interrupt with that neutral light before LDZ can punish. He is so quick with those pivot dares.
That's coming off like the more recent days of Memoria. It's all about dares and sayers. Oh, and just
Ground pound.
right on the edge with the AoE. Did LDZ move off the wall just a little bit? I couldn't tell if it was just because of the AoE.
I think he was trying to get away from it, but just was not able to do so. Boomie letting go to get the full blast. Weapon toss. Boomie trying to use that nair to give himself some breathing room, and the Sair will finish off the stock.
Boomie's offstage guns just are the most incredible thing ever. He plays offstage guns better than I've seen anybody play offstage guns. Look at that, the chase dodge into the neutral light. Look at how
Gravity
he's
cancel
just able
downlight
to-
into the Sair. Weapon toss to keep the pressure. I mean, it's like you've been saying, Boomie's got an insane set of guns, and if it weren't for the fact that he's not a gunman, you would claim that he is the best gun guy in the game.
Look
The
at that.
recovery.
Look how he picked him up. He was on the ground. Boomie can pick people up with ground pounds better than anybody else. And LDZ, you can see it in the lead right now. Top right of your screen. Boomie with a very healthy lead. With a reasonably high defense Lucian.
Another recovery pickup for Boomie. LDZ not quite in kill range, but he's been so effective at getting right on top of LDZ when he starts up that gun recovery. Side sig connects. Boomie's dead.
And here's Qatar as we saw earlier. That was 3 dares and a nair. Sorry, 3 downlights and a nair.
He's back to the guns. Ooh, just barely drops the recovery. Not sure if it would have killed.
It might have. Maybe not with the
It was pretty
force, but
high.
it could have. It absolutely, there was a possibility. Very close game. If LDZ
Oh, the
wins
neutral
this
stick picks
game-
up. The weapon toss in LDZ. He called it. The 5-game win. He does it. He said, "Okay, I'm gonna just it's done. That's it. I called it. His fantasy bracket has come to fruition. LDZ wins it out in Game 5 over Boomie.
LDZ was your 1v1 BCX champion. LDZ was second place BCX 2v2. He is now your winter champion for North America, starting off the season with a very large bang, getting the lion's share of the North American prize pool, I believe, because Dobrain said it was like 625 on Twitter. I'm assuming that's the correct number. So LDZ will be walking out of here with $625. Boomie, fantastic, showing his amazing range with so many different characters, so many different weapons, coming in second place. In third place, Stevenator, playing better than I have ever seen him play. I hope that is just a trailer of what is to come from Stevenator this season.
I'm absolutely excited to see Stevenator bring that core gameplay, just bring it everywhere, because it was absolutely absurd. Fourth place goes to the one and only Noel. Just a fantastic showing from him on that Asuri. Fifth place tie between Starlight and Eggsoup. And the list goes on. You can check it out more at smash.gg, where you can find the results of this tournament, the earlier tournament, the EU tournament, as well as tomorrow's brackets. The EU 2v2 will be in the morning, and the NA 2v2 will be in the afternoon again.
Now, keep in mind, for the NA 2v2, the top 2 players from today, they're a team. That's true. Scary. That is so scary if you are any other competitor in North America.
But Stevenator, I think he's on a team as well. Third place Stevenator. It's going to be interesting to see how he, and I believe his teammate's going to be Silly Gobi, how they can shake out in the 2v2 scene against the likes of Boomie and LDZ, as well as Eggsoup and Pugsy. A notable name should be in the tournament as well. There's definitely going to be some solid names throughout that entire tournament.
I was gonna type this because I was hoping you were gonna say more things, but are we going to host? We're going to host or no? I don't.
No, we're not. I'm sorry. White Sheepy is not currently available right now. So I think we're gonna talk about Combo Breaker and CEO one more time. Put up the graphic part of the creed. CEO, let's do it. CEO Dreamland. It's gonna be in April 14th through 16th. I remembered the dates this time in Orlando, Florida. It's gonna have Boomie, it's gonna have Starlight, it's gonna have Zaloxery, it's gonna have Daiku, it's gonna have Dobrain, it's gonna have Eggsoup, it's gonna have many more players, it's gonna have you, it's gonna have me, it's gonna have Boda, Raiden, and TWK. You're gonna get a sweet avatar if you register, so make sure you check out CEO Dreamland. You can register on smash.gg. If you check out the Brawlhalla Circuit, I believe all of the tournaments are inside of that. So
yes.
Find that.
And it may be cold outside right now, but in April, it'll be in nice, sunny Florida. And then, moving on after that, we'll have Combo Breaker in, I don't know, it might still be cold in Chicago at that point. Because Chicago, Illinois is just a cold, barren wasteland. It's basically the Russia of North America.
That's right. Combo Breaker in Illinois. It is going to be in May 26th through 28th at the Mega Center. Equal number of circuit points at both tournaments, 1250 on both sides. Zaloxery is going to be there, as well as potentially Boomie and Stevenator. So we might see a repeat of this losers finals from today. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be exciting. Both lands are something that you should look forward to. They'll be streamed, but if you can be in person, I highly recommend it.
Absolutely. Lands are just a culture that you don't understand until you go there. I didn't understand it until I went to BCX. I've watched World Championship stuff in the past, but until I was there and shaking hands with people and hanging out with people, it is something that needs to be experienced.
It is, it's just at bare minimum, it is always a pleasure to meet the people that you've been playing against, people you've been playing with, people you've been watching online in tournaments or just their streams or whatever. Just see them in person, hang out with them and talk to them and get to know them on just a deeper level than just be like, oh, you're that guy who plays core. Okay, that's cool. You know Hamburg combos.
All right, well, that is going to do it for us today. Thank you, everybody who stuck around for this very long tournament. It may have been long, but it was also one
Enjoyable.
heck of a day for me. I enjoyed watching the EU. I enjoyed casting North America. I'm sure you enjoyed casting both. I'm sure part of the Creed enjoyed casting EU and watching North America. Take it, Duke. Go.
All right, congratulations once again to the winner of EU Multimum, as well as the winner of NA LDZ. And then once again, we like to give a thanks to all the people who are behind the scenes and don't really get the recognition that they deserve. A huge thank you to White Sheepy. She's not able to close out the host segment, but she is obviously a great help. She also helped admin, so if some of you were having problems earlier on today, she might have helped you out. Alongside the other admins, Sloshula, Cassidy, I think Expired's back there, Sticky Soul, El Toco Loco, Foda's back there helping them out, as well as the Smash GG reps. Do you know their names off the top of your head?
I'm gonna pull up the Discord because they deserve to be named. Everyone else can just like wait until I look it up. I know Bear.
There's Ogle. There's Bear. Leaboo. I'm seeing a Smash GG Leaboo. I think there's one more. Kupo, yeah, and Nathan.
And
there's a lot.
EGTV. Everybody at Smash GG. There was a little bit of a learning curve for everybody, learning something new today. I hope everybody picked up as much as they possibly could from the Smash GG platform. I like it. I dig it.
I mean, it's I really like this fantasy bracket. Unfortunately, my decision to go with all $10 players did not quite work out.
Maybe next time.
I ended today with a hot 180 points in the NA side of things, but you know what? That is 180 points more than 0, so eat it, all right?
That's true, you beat me.
Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And come back tomorrow because we've got 2v2 action. EU starts tomorrow morning, 11 Eastern. Right?
The stream starts at 11 Eastern.
Right. The stream starts tomorrow morning, 11 Eastern. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your night.